Hunter's Digest. TransWorld 2015 event coverage.
Hey everybody, Charles Terry here from TransWorld 2015, and we're at a great booth with really good looking masks. It is
Creature Avenge Studios.
And you are?
I'm Jennifer Duffy.
And you are?
I'm Jordan Bosey.
And these masks are really awesome looking. We were walking by and it caught our attention. There's the Gypsy mask that we just showed. We actually pushed it to our news feed a few minutes ago. And I'm going to let these two explain. Tell us what kind of great looking masks do you guys have, and a little bit of where you guys came from.
Well, basically we have a wide variety of masks that we like to do. We like to cater to haunts as well as collectors. One of my favorites is the Cthulhu mask right here. It's pretty swell. And the Yellow King over here, Jordan actually sculpted that one. And we've come from haunts. We did yard haunts, like 20 years of yard haunts. And then my husband decided to start a business, and me and my husband own the business. He sculpts everything, paints everything.
And then you just enslaved her to be the sculptor.
Exactly. Yeah, she sculpts, she paints, she sews, she does it all. So, and we're based in Charlotte, North Carolina right now. It's where we have our studio.
And you said you sculpted the Gypsy?
Yep, I did.
And how do you guys come up with the inspiration for your guys' mask?
Oh, that's a tough question. Probably the amount of movies that I watch. Just, you get an image in your head and you draw it down, and then Greg and I will go back and forth and we'll be like, well, we like this or we like that, or let's do this a little more, and then we'll come up with a final design and we'll just sculpt it.
And if Hunter has a custom mask, can you guys do that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We do custom masks all the time. Commission work, custom work, whatever they're looking for, we can definitely do.
Okay, and tell everybody where can they find you, like website, phone number?
Yeah, you can go to creatureavenge.com, or you can call our office at 803-792-2007.
And I definitely recommend it. They got some great looking stuff. I love the little weird trick-or-treaty kid.
Oh, yeah, I want them in my bedroom. They're so adorable.
I don't know about the bedroom, but I definitely stick it on the front porch for Halloween, just to deter the other children from showing up.
Absolutely.
But definitely check out their website. Great looking products. More from TransWorld 2015 coming up right now. Everybody, Charles Terry here from TransWorld 2015. We're joined by one of my favorite people in the entire haunt industry.
How about you?
No, John. Both of you actually, because I found out, John LaFlamboy from Statesville Haunted Prison, and Santo.
Yeah. I like Santo.
Don't forget, guys, share the mic.
Yeah, Chris Otto.
Chris Otto.
Yokai Films.
And I understand you do one of my favorite web series, besides anything Hunter's Digest does, is the Days of the Living Dead podcast.
Oh.
So tell me.
Take the mic. Tell them all about the web series.
Yeah, tell me how do you go about producing that?
So much fun to work with.
We did a feature film called Heaven is Hell about 3 years ago, and we met this crazy guy because we needed a cave. We needed to film in a cave. But we didn't have the budget to build a cave, and so through a friend we met John, and then I was like, "This is Statesville," and he's like, "Yeah," and I was like, "I love this place." And then I found out that they used to do this web series for a while called Days of the Living Dead, and we wanted to pick it right up and continue doing it because it's just an awesome spectacle.
Days of the Living Dead, it's fun. It's Days of the Living Dead has had so many different iterations.
Yeah.
It started with us and a camera from Best Buy,
right?
Just filming stuff and putting it out there.
Yeah.
Then it was a documentary artist from Germany came in and filmed a documentary called "Thank You for Coming, Burn in Hell." And then we went through two other versions of people coming in and filming parts of it.
Yeah.
And it was always the big problem was how to monetize it, because it's a lot of work. I mean, these guys work their asses off for a long time, chasing us through this industry, editing it and getting it out to our viewers when it's timely. You know,
So-
people want to watch a haunted house show while haunted houses are going on. So we've done it for years and years. We did it with June Studios
Yeah.
for a few years until that gas tank emptied out because it was too expensive. It was hard for them to get to do, and so we let it. It died for a bit, and then we met Chris and Mike Meyer, which is Chris's partner in Yokai, and we talked about it, and they said that they thought they could get this thing back up and running, and I've always been, eager to try to get this thing out there. I think it's a lot of fun. I think the haunted house industry is something that the common person doesn't even know exists.
And I think that's what's great about the video series you do, because you guys follow him. I mean, it doesn't look like it's just at Halloween. It looks like he follows you almost all year.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, he's here right now.
Yeah, he's
Camera
here.
in hand. Yeah.
and
I mean, right now.
We follow him through the build season. We follow him all the way through the haunt. It's really almost half the year, like half the year on and half the year off. He's on all the time because he lives it, but we come in during the busy season. Well, the funny thing is the first season that we took over, the last season, season 4?
4, yeah.
Yeah, season 4. I was actually, I had a full-time job, and so it was almost single-handedly done by my partner, Mike Meyer. And then last season, he almost having an emotional breakdown because you're doing so much work. I quit my job and went freelance, and now it's 2, and you can comfortably do it with 2. But I'll say, like, during the haunt season until we're done with the episodes, we're living it.
Yeah.
and none of it's scripted. I mean, let it say go or what?
No, John won't
Because
let
there's some
us fake
stuff
anything.
he does that I'm like, it's got to be scripted. Nobody's
I won't let
crazy.
him do it. I've many times, like, especially years ago when we started out, that was the big rage. Everybody wanted to script things in our web series. Everybody okay, John,
Office, make
we
it
want
look
you to come
improv.
in and we want you to yell at this person
Yeah.
and bullshit. It's a fucking bunch of horse shit. Do your job. I just don't want to do it. I think it's stupid. I think it's a lie. So much reality TV out there. Nothing about it is reality.
Yeah.
The most we do is when we're playing with our concepts, inside the shows. That's our pretend is when we're making up our shows. Like Statesville Haunted Prison. That's our fake stuff. That's our concept.
Yeah.
But as far as what's happening on the build and what's happening, in live action, we have enough real life drama on a regular basis trying to put these shows together that it is, I think, interesting enough. We don't need to fake it. Somebody that decided it would be funny to light off a tactical smoke bomb inside our haunted house.
I was over here scaring people, and then I heard it go off and the people ran.
So it's somebody's idea of a fucking joke or sabotage. Either way, it's dangerous. And if we catch the person, we're sending them to jail.
I think every episode comes out to around 5 minutes an episode. We probably shoot 5 hours.
5 hours.
So you're talking, like a 60-to-1 ratio, or, I mean, by the time we're done with the haunt season, we basically have been living with John for like 3 months straight. So, like, every moment is captured in some way. So it's a huge. I've even had to recruit my girlfriend when we get busy enough just to look through footage to help me out, because when we get into it, it's just exhausting.
He'll be there at Statesville for 12 hours.
Yeah.
Well, who the hell knows if anything's gonna go that's gonna be interesting? It's like sometimes like a whole lot of 2x4s being moved around, and that does not make good TV. So you're just there hoping something happens. You don't know if it's gonna happen or not. So they've got a lot of patience. And I think another big thing, and why I think they're so good at it, is you don't know what the story is. You never really do until it happens. Right. Case in point, last year, who the hell knew our haunted house is going to sink to the bottom of Lake Michigan? Like, you don't know that's going to be the story until it happens.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I love about the show and about what they do is it's not stale, it's vibrant, it's about what's happening, and it's they're not stuck in concrete saying this episode will be this, and this.
Yeah.
So
it's just spur of the moment, see how life takes that haunt and capture it.
I don't even know what most of the episodes are going to be about until I see it.
Oh, so you don't even get an advance?
No, I mean, I tell them when are interesting days. If I know we're going to do a lot of prop install, I tell them these are good calendar days. Yeah. If I'm doing actor training, these are good, interesting days for this. but I have no idea what the episode's actually going to look like until they give it
You
to me.
sound like one of the actors on The Walking Dead. It's like we didn't
Yeah,
see
we didn't
any
see
of
a
this
script,
until it was on air, and
Yeah.
even then we're crying now.
And there are sometimes where I really think like Mike Meyer is taking me out of context to make me look like a bigger asshole than I am. I mean, I'm an asshole. Let me get this straight. If you work for me, I yell a lot. This is lunacy. Why don't you have radios tonight? Your security. Why don't you have radios?
They made up excuses, and that drives me out of my goddamn mind.
I don't need one.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
What the f? But sometimes it's like he takes these lines, makes it feel like I'm like sending my crew to the firing squad.
Yeah, I think the thing that we've learned to be the best at is being able to sprint 100 yards in 2 seconds. Because we always, even though when we're not filming, we hear what he's saying, like in some other room on a mic. So that's the special thing you get is when we can hear like when his level's raising just enough where like we got to sprint there.
John's heating up. Yeah. He's at a 7. He's gonna blow.
And I've run like laps around Statesville Haunted Prison, just trying to catch it. If it's a code red, I'm there, and I'm like the flag.
Do you think this is something that other haunted attractions maybe should try to maybe experiment to see if they could do a version of it like that, or?
Yeah, I mean, heck yeah, I would say it's not like we feel like no one can ever do what we do. Like we're not like that. But it's a lot.
It won't be as good.
It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of time and money, and I mean, it's not something. It's like a haunted house. You can't just throw up a web series.
Yeah.
Like I said, 60-to-1 ratio, what you shoot versus what is useful. So that's hard. But I think one of the cool things that I found out about the show, and it's not what I ever thought was going to happen, but how many, and I've heard it here. I mean, I heard it 3 times last night at the Renaissance Bar, where people coming up to me and saying thank you for the show.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, cool, glad you thought it was entertaining. And they're like, no. It's what we use for our business plan. So there are these new startup haunted houses that are watching the seasons and going, okay, this is when they buy. This is who they buy from.
Yeah.
This is how they do their build.
Yeah.
This is how they did the actor training videos, I think, are a big one. I think a lot of people watch those about actor training. So, and we never knew that would happen, but now we've got, it's not necessarily, fans as much as people who are taking it very technical, and it's helping them get into the industry, which is an amazing compliment.
Right.
That we're making something that is that useful to someone, that is helping them with their business. And I love that. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, and I think for me, the reason I really love Statesville and I really want to work with John is he's doing it right. Like he's treating his people right. It's a real big family environment, and it's a legitimate business. It's a really successful business. And the first time I was ever at Statesville, I was like, can I swear or can I say?
Yeah, you can.
I was like, holy someone's doing this for a living? It's like, if I could go back to being 8 years old, John LaFlamboy is doing what I wanted to do when I grow up, just inspiring people, doing cool, like really and he's so thoughtful, like he goes into like some FBI serial killer hunter's mind when he goes into rooms and he plans out what's going on, and it's really like the whole experience is kind of life affirming for me and Mike, and that's why we really wanted to bring the series back, because I even brought my girlfriend last year and she was crying because she's like this is fantastic, like the things he does before each show. He has this pit with everybody and does this great breakdown of the day motivational thing. And it's as close as you can get to being in a live movie. It's pretty crazy.
The majority of us in this industry are doing it out of the love.
Yes.
Because for anyone who works at a haunted house or has owned a haunted house, we've almost all been at that same beginning point where we don't have any money. There's no proof anyone's ever going to give us money for what we want to do.
Yeah.
You start with garbage, with thrift store stuff, with secondhand stuff, with going through junkyards. You start however you can. You scratch out a beginning. Yeah. And you build up from there.
Right.
And the only way you ever get bigger and better and more successful is because you keep putting it back into the show. And most of us keep putting our profits back into that damn show like it's an addiction until it gets to the point where it is profitable. But nobody does that in the beginning for the money.
Yeah.
I would say 80-85% of us do it because we love what we're doing.
Right.
And the lucky handful of us end up being able to make money doing it. And
Exactly.
it's an amazing thing. I mean, I remember year 4 when I was like, oh, I could call this a job now.
Yeah.
I'm making enough money to call it a job.
Well, I want to continue talking to
Sure.
you about some things. I know you got to run because you've got a ton
You
of
got
stuff
things
to
to film.
film. And we're back again with John, and oh my God, Kyle's here.
Caught me walking by.
So we switched out people here. Your associate had to go do more filming.
More filming.
So we're going to continue our conversation here now with John and Kyle. And I want to talk to you about, we mentioned it briefly.
Yeah.
There was a sort of a small incident on Lake Michigan, small one, where you kind of lost a haunted house.
This guy loves to find your pain, and he just drills. He's like, this is painful. Let's tear it open.
Wait, what haunted house?
What haunted house? Yeah.
I blocked that out.
Explain how all of a sudden on Facebook the Coast Guard is posting photos. Of
Sure.
zombies.
I mean, the way it goes down is we had this new idea for a haunted house that we wanted to do. It's a comedy horror haunted house. So we designed this brand new thing from scratch, built it over the summer. I mean, people killed themselves to get it done in time. Him being the number one guy killing himself to get
And
it done.
I remember seeing you in a lot of the Facebook stuff.
Yeah. Worked his ass off. We got it done in time, got it up, won some awards right away, got some amazing reviews right away, having an incredible season. It was a great success until Halloween. And then a freak storm came across Lake Michigan. Now, I should explain, this haunted house was all in cargo containers that we had fitted to be a haunt that we placed on a barge on Lake Michigan attached to Navy Pier in conjunction with the pier. Storm came across Lake Michigan like we've never seen. I've lived in Chicago my whole life.
Freakish.
I've never seen anything like this. And within hours, we went from like 6-foot waves to 23-foot waves. Mainly, we were just horrified by what we were seeing.
Yeah, I saw the video. You were like just standing at the window.
Yeah.
And it was like sad music.
Yeah,
Like
right.
you were going to touch the window. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can do. I mean, it's nature. Mother Nature just sent this
She's a
storm
bitch.
across Lake Michigan. And it wasn't just us. It was the shoreline of Chicago. Like, sidewalks were ripped away and deposited 70 feet away.
That's amazing.
You know, sewer caps were blowing off at the pier. It was, I've never seen anything
Batman
like
was
it.
swinging through the city,
Right?
chasing the Joker.
And for the first time in history, Navy Pier evacuated the pier. Like, that's how bad it was. And on Halloween, 2014, we watched our life savings sink to the bottom of Lake Michigan. So yeah, that happened.
Yes.
I went to the bar.
You went to the bar?
Yeah, I went straight to the bar. At first, I was laughing at him. He's like, it's going to go down. I'm like, no, it's not. I was laughing. I'm like, oh, they're going to have to rebuild. The Fear Cast is not going to have one night of work, whatever. And then he sent me one picture of just a giant wave just taking it over. I'm like, we got to get out of here. We got to go to the bar.
Yeah, I mean, when you guys were sitting there watching it, did you just kind of go, not to the bar, because you're like, I mean, was it just maybe we should leave because the sidewalk is leaving?
Yeah,
I don't
there
know if
was
the
that.
building will still be here as a personal safety level.
There was that. We were with the Coast Guard, the fire department, Navy Pier Security, Chicago Police. I mean, everyone was there.
Were you just there, or was it like they called you and said you need to get down?
No,
here?
I got a call in the morning saying we got 6-foot waves. It was from the pier. They're like, we got 6-foot waves. It's really bumpy out here. And we had talked. It was going to be, storm was all night. So we made the decision to cancel the show. I said, let's shut it down. 6-foot waves can make it pretty bumpy.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't want an audience member to trip and hit their head.
Exactly.
So, but we didn't want someone to get hurt. But we didn't also think it was that big of a deal. It's like, all right, this is the hardest thing we're going to have to do is cancel the most profitable night of the year. But I didn't want to risk anyone getting hurt. So we canceled it. Those 6-foot waves were 16-foot waves within 2 hours.
Wow.
And then after that, it's something we've never seen before. I mean, Navy Pier, the Coast Guard, nobody's ever seen it. The Coast Guard would not get in a boat. The Coast Guard. They're like, no one's going out there.
That's bad.
So yeah, it was, when you watch it, it's just very still. You know, it takes a while for such a giant barge to sink. But the violence,
And what happened was, what was funny is, you know, you knew that the barge was sick because you're watching it. Most of the industry didn't realize about the barge sinking until like the next day, because on Facebook and Twitter and some of the local news, you started seeing these little things about like zombies in Lake Michigan headlines, and the Coast Guard's fishing these guys out. And you know, I think Walking Dead season premiere was just around.
Yeah, it all linked in. I mean, they're still talking about it.
It was a perfect storm on so many levels.
Yep. You know, and the good thing is like, all right, it's a ton of publicity, great, but at least everybody understands it's not our fault. You know, we didn't do anything wrong.
You did everything right, actually, by canceling
everyone was safe.
everything.
That's the most important thing. No one got hurt, and a chance we could have all gotten hurt.
Yeah.
You know, if that storm had came 5 hours later, you know, there's a chance people could have gotten injured.
Yeah, so I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, we lost all the money and the props and whatnot, but
you can rebuild.
Could have been much worse. What we lost, we could fix. What we lost, we could
you cannot replace
do again.
Actors, guests, lives.
No, the idea of one of my actors getting hurt, no.
Well, getting hurt by the storm, no.
Yeah.
You breaking them mentally or physically.
Yeah, me
different.
hurting them mentally is a totally different thing.
And we're talking
really
about.
Well.
Yeah,
he knows where you're coming from with the mentally and physically beating him.
He did that whole thing at Statesville, shot that whole night and saw the pit, everything.
That's
so
what I was going to
say.
say.
He knows how I treat the actors.
He knows about your mental breakdowns.
That's what I was going to say. Go to youtube.com/Haunter's Digest and look for Haunt Tours Statesville.
Yeah.
You guys, and again, you know, one of the best things I think about the way you guys run your show is your pre-show builds up. And getting everybody in the mood and ready to go out there. And I think one of the things I loved hearing you said was the reason that, you know, that parking lot is filled is because you guys have been busting your ass and doing great reviews. And I think that's a reflection on, you know, you and Kyle and how you guys run your haunt. You really do push and push and push them, you know, not in a bad way, but just always, you know, giving them that motivation to say, be the best you can.
Well, and also, I mean, I think it helps, you know, our background, you know. I think that's a big factor with all that.
And your background is theater.
Theater. You know, I grew up doing theater. And when I
would never realize that. Me, you don't hit me off as that.
Always talking with his hands.
I do talk with my hands a lot. Watch out. But, you know, so my background's theater. So, of course, I love that part of the world. I love being in the haunted house. I mean, I own the production company that runs the show, but at the same time, I love putting on a costume and being in that show. So I know what that's like. And Kyle's been doing the show since he was 9 years old. You know, he was an actor for me.
I was in 4th grade, I think, trying to do my homework in the haunt, trying to get it done his first year. Was I 9 or 8?
I think 8, maybe 8.
There's some pictures out there of how small.
Some great photos of Kyle as my little maniac with the blood coming down his eyes, cute little white makeup.
That's awesome. But I mean,
full beard though at 8, full beard.
And I think that really goes to a testament, like you said, your father, your brothers, your mom, your aunts, everybody. It seems like Statesville is really a family-run operation.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that is a testament to the labor of love.
Yeah.
It's a family of love, and I do want to talk to you about one other project that you've done that I'm a fan of. And you know what I'm going to talk to you about is the Mole Man.
The Mole Man.
Mole Man.
Good. I thought you were going to go into my porn career, and I just didn't want to do that right now.
No, we're gonna skip that because there's some things you just can't unsee.
Yeah. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that.
Mole Man of Belmont
The Mole Man of Belmont Avenue
is a great video. You gave me a copy of it, and I have to write a review of it, but we're going to go ahead and talk about it right now.
Sure.
It is says you, your co-writers, co-stars in it also.
Mike Radish,
and you have horror icon. Try that. Robert Englund. And he's not playing Freddy or anything. He's just playing a great
It's just Robert Englund being a great actor. You know, I think a lot of people miss that because he's such a horror icon.
Yes.
You know, with Freddy Krueger, but Robert Englund is an amazing actor.
Yes,
and
we were talking about this before. Everybody's like, "Oh, he's Freddy.
Right.
No, we're
Willie.
Willie from B.
Yeah.
That's where he is.
The nice alien. Nerd
Oh,
alert.
dude, don't even.
And you can tell our age too, because we saw V when it was good. But yeah, like even with Robert Englund, I think one of the greatest things for us. I know V, you don't know. Take a nap.
It's on Netflix, man.
One
Just
of the
look it
greatest things about Robert Englund, though, is when we had him on the movie, is we had hired our favorite Chicago comedians to be part of this film.
Yeah.
You know, Tim Kazurinsky from Police Academy, Saturday Night Live, all sorts of stuff. We call him Uncle Tim now. TJ Jagodowski, Dave Pasquazi, Susan Messing, Gregory Holloman. I mean, these are our favorite performers.
Yeah.
And they are the funniest people we know.
And it's funny you mentioned I'm terrible with names. I was at Police
TJ?
Academy.
Yeah. Tim.
I was sitting there watching, and I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I love this
Sweet
guy.
Chuck.
Sweet Chuck.
Sweet Chuck,
yes.
right? Yeah.
So, I mean, it really was a cast full of, as you said, very
And-
well-known people from all
yeah.
over.
And that was like, that to us was heaven. Like,
Yes.
we write this movie, we're directing it, producing it, and
You show them
we're
the
the
script, and they're
co-idiots
like,
in it.
hell, we love to do
Yeah, and the
this.
fact that we showed the script to our idols, the
Yeah.
people we respect, and they wanted to do it, was like, we kept getting, we were waiting to get fired every day. We're like, somebody's going to figure out we don't know what we're
Somebody's
doing.
gonna walk off like,
They're going to
"Screw
fire
this."
us. Yeah. But Robert Englund, get back to him, the big moment for us is when we put him in this big scene, a group scene,
Yeah.
with the funniest people we know. And Robert Englund was killing it. Like,
Yeah.
he was making them laugh. And it's like, he's so funny.
Okay, we better explain, because people are like, yeah, it's great. What the hell's the movie about?
Yeah, sure. The Mole Man of Belmont Avenue.
We've seen it. We got to explain it to them.
The Mole Man of Belmont Avenue is it's a story about two brothers who are complete slackers who inherit an apartment building and a bar.
And I don't want to
Unfortunately,
say it's a slum.
it's not a slum, but it is on its way.
Yeah,
The electricity's turned off. The
it's-
gas is turned
It's
off.
like, it makes Sunny in Philadelphia
Yeah.
look like the Ritz-Carlton.
Yeah, they're using the bar downstairs for their friends, and
Yeah.
that's it. Like, they have run this place into the ground, and then they find out that all these animals, the cats and dogs in the building, go missing.
Right.
And they discover it's because there's a mole man living in the basement. So it's really about these two idiots that have never done anything right, now trying to capture a monster living in the basement. So
And it has a
you
nice...
can imagine that really doesn't go very well.
And putting us,
Generally speaking.
in harm's way.
Well, someone should warn Mrs. Habershackle.
The Mole Man ate Mrs. Habershackle earlier this evening.
Questions?
Thank you.
Right.
It's a lot of fun to make.
We're-
So if you're interested, America, it's on Amazon, Netflix, Best Buy, Kmart, Family Video, and a bunch of other places across the country. And it's in the booth at the trade shows we go to. We always bring copies at the booth.
And if you get a chance to see it, I definitely highly recommend it. It's a funny movie.
Thank you very much.
I was telling John before we started, one of my favorite lines from the movie was to kind
Next
of put
time
you-
somebody tells me they're having a shitty day, I want to tell them a story about how I opened the trunk full of dead kittens and threw them in a garbage can. See how shitty their day is.
If you
I
watch the
paraphrased
movie,
a little.
That scene will make the context will make you laugh your ass off. It is a funny scene in the movie.
See? Dead kittens, funny.
Dead kittens are funny. That's it. But if you get a chance, definitely check out the movie. It's one of those it's kind of like an indie film that you really kind of fall in love with. You can tell it's made with labor of love. I like the other movie I like with Alan Tudyk, Dale and
Oh yeah, Tucker and Dale versus
and Tucker
Evil.
take yeah.
Whoa, what
I
a
thought
great
it was
movie.
kind of along those levels.
We got compared. We came out at the same time.
Yeah.
And a lot of the reviews compared us to that. We thought that was just
Yeah.
such a nice thing to say about us because we love that movie.
Well, I think it's like you can tell that when you got writers that are actually writing something, that they love. It's
Yeah.
not just a paycheck. It's
Right.
just not.
We're not
something
showing up
putting
in a
to
writing
film
movie.
festival
Yeah.
to be artsy. You were like, you know what? We're going to make a fun movie, and we're
Yeah.
going to see if we can't get our heroes in it. And they did it, so they obviously loved it.
Yeah.
You got Robert Englund, you got Sweet Chuck. I call that a win.
Yeah.
right
Oh,
there.
so do we. So do we.
It's awesome. So check out anything. Where can people go to check out all your stuff?
Go to theadventuresofkittyzombie.com.
Okay.
Go to, for all of our stuff, zombiearmyproductions.com. We've got a movie poster for every event we do, and you could jump on any of our websites from there.
All right, and definitely check out his haunted attraction, Statesville.
Statesville Haunted Prison.
And check out youtube.com/Hunters Digest, our Hot Tour series for that episode. It's a great look at the Statesville and the other attraction that's attached to it.
City of the Dead.
City of the Dead.
Yeah.
So definitely check them out. These guys ooze talent and just creativity and just so worth your time. So definitely check it out. John,
Thank you.
Kyle, I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna
Thank
let
you
you
so
go
much.
buy some more
We're
stuff.
going to go buy some stuff.
Go buy some stuff. And you guys keep it tuned in. More. Hey everybody, Charles Terry here with continuing TransWorld 2015 coverage from HuntersDigest.com. I am joined right now with K Studios legend Ken Thompson. Legend. Have you not seen your booth?
I've seen it, yeah.
He's a legend. This man, relatively new to the hunt industry.
Yeah, pretty new on this kind of scale and level. Yeah,
but if you haven't seen some of his work, you obviously haven't visited Hunters Digest. We ran a feature that you were actually kind enough to write for us.
Yeah.
About the Rise Haunted House sign.
Yeah.
Tell us, and that was on the HuntersDigest.com website. You can still find it if you search for it. Just type in Rise Haunted House site, or click this link on the video and you can get to it. But tell us a little bit about that great project. That's how we got to know you.
Yeah, it is how we got to know each other. I have some good friends in Louisiana who own Rise Haunted House, and I've been doing work with them for about 4 years now. And last year they had the idea to do a sign, but they wanted something that was different and something that was like really kind of show-stopping or an eye-catcher. And so we came up with the idea of building, I think it was like 20 feet tall by 15 foot wide, like tomb facade that was like crumbling, had bricks falling out, and incorporated their logo and stuff. And so we started, we poured the concrete slab for the sign before TransWorld last year, so that when we were finished with TransWorld, we could start on the sign.
Right.
And I've never done a sign like that, but I think it's amazing. And I think it's a great thing to have. You know, I mean, you need, especially if they're kind of in a rural area.
Yeah.
So to have something that's like that big and that makes a big impact like that is really awesome. It was a challenge because after we poured the slab and we had framed the whole thing up and we had a good majority of the styrofoam already on the sign, some state officials came by and said, your sign is too close to the road, so we had to like dig it out from the ground.
You gotta like that out in a rural environment. State guys just like, you're still what? Are you afraid like
what's gonna happen?
Yeah,
I mean, no, seriously. But so we had to like dig it out and chain it to a tractor and drag the entire thing 20 feet back, and then we finished it. But it was a really cool project. It was very cool.
And you were kind enough to write us kind of a step-by-step the construction of it.
Yeah.
And I highly recommend you check that out. And that was was that your first real big paid-for piece as an artist?
No. My first big job was 2 summers ago.
Yeah.
It was the first year that I had exhibited here at TransWorld, and I booked a job at a haunt called Indy Screen Park in Anderson, Illinois.
My hometown. Well, not Anderson, but Indianapolis. Yeah.
Yeah. That was the first big job that I did. And so I was there for about 9 days, and we did a 100-foot long, 30-foot tall asylum facade.
Oh, okay.
In 9 days.
That's impressive.
It was impressive, and it was crazy, and it was kind of stupid. I should have said like 2 weeks, but that was the first.
That's a learning experience.
It was definitely a learning experience, but that was the first big paid-for gig that I did as K Studios. And then it's just steadily grown from there.
And now you seem to have gotten into facades.
Yeah, we do a lot of facades.
So what's the scope of your business right now with K Studios?
We work on everything. Right now, I think the majority of what we do is a haunt will come to us and say, this is the space that we have, this is our parameters as far as like fire codes and things like that, and they'll give us a general idea of what they want it to be, or if they have a theme, and then we will take all of that and just design it, the whole set, from the ground up, and then usually fly out and stay for 2 weeks at a time. Typically it's 2 weeks, and construct the whole thing on site. That is the majority of what we're doing. We have smaller things going on. We did a really cool like steampunk ghost tank for Netherworld a few months ago.
Oh, okay.
And then we're doing some flamethrower backpack things that are being sold with a costume with one of the companies here. So we're working on that too.
So it's not just large, giant projects. You do some stuff in-house and then ship back out.
Right. We do a little bit of everything. Yeah.
So if a hunter has a concept or an idea for you, what's kind of the best way to contacting you and your method to work?
We get a lot of messages and a lot of feedback through Facebook. We get a lot of emails. People email us most of the time and ask us what our availability is and what we can do for them. So.
And how much? I mean, ideally, like if somebody's watching right now, what would be the ideal lead time to contact you? Like wait till 2 days before Halloween, or should we 48 hours?
You mean like for a job? Like if they want to come schedule us?
We would just want to freak you out and be like, hey, I need this 20-foot thing like day before opening, and it's already September 30th.
We could do it. I think it would probably cost a little bit more because it's so last minute.
Without giving you a heart attack or making you gray, what's the ideal?
Ideally, I would like to have 2 weeks before we do a big job. Okay. Yeah, before we do a large install or build. 2 weeks is ideal. It gives us plenty of time to really do a thorough design of the whole thing and get a really good supply list going so that we know exactly what we need before we even start. So the more time, the better, but 2 weeks is always really ideal.
So what's really your process? Like if I call you 2 weeks and say, I got a 10 by 10 room, I want to make it like this Louisiana outdoor falling apart crypt looking cemetery. What's the design process you kind of do? How do you walk a client through from conception to actual delivery?
It really does vary. I mean, sometimes people have a very, very specific idea of what they want and how they want it to look. Other times, it's kind of just like free reign. Right. Do whatever you like. But it always starts with the idea, and I always start with a sketch. I always just take my sketch pad and just start sketching things out and trying to come up with the best design that I can for the space. And I mean, I try and be different every time. I never want to do the same thing over and over again.
Right.
So I'm very conscious about keeping everything new and current and very specific to that client's haunt. So yeah, I think we do a lot of research and then we just start sketching it out, and it kind of grows from there organically, and it just happens. You keep getting ideas and it's like, oh, that would be awesome, and so we add that in, and so.
So for a haunt that maybe never worked with a designer before or whatnot, is there, and I know it's tacky to ask about money, but I mean, what would you recommend that somebody that, like I said, a 10 by 10 room I want to design, what kind of advice would you give them for a ballpark budget that they should set aside for hiring a designer like you or somebody, an installer?
Well, it's important to know that what we do is really highly detailed. We put a lot of effort into making things look really authentic and realistic, and so that translates into
to some crap, Halloween shop and buy.
No, we're not going to run to your
Hobby Lobby and getting a few little candles.
No, it doesn't work like that.
No, I didn't think so.
But I mean, some of it does. I mean, you can find great stuff at Hobby Lobby. I mean,
I'm not knocking Hobby Lobby.
No, I love Hobby Lobby. I just wish they were open on Sundays. But no, it's really great. But we do a lot of picking, those TV shows. So I love to go to like Goodwill or thrift stores or anything like that. And I do like to keep things on budget and not spend tons and tons of money. I would rather reserve most of the budget to get things that we might not be able to build or make. Like if we need some sort of large monster.
What would be a realistic budget for a haunter, in your professional opinion?
We typically charge a weekly rate. A lot of people will do like an hourly or a day rate.
Right.
But because I work really long hours. I usually come in at like 10 a.m. and leave around 12:30 or 1. And that's 7 days. So if we're at your haunt for 2 weeks, then we're going to be working for 14
you'll
days.
build a giant asylum in 9 days.
Yeah, but so like for your average room, like a 10 by 10 room, if you wanted to have us, if you wanted us to physically come out there and build it on site and finish it on site, it depends on, you know, there's lodging and things like that that all come into play. But I would say a ballpark, you're probably looking at something around $5,000 for a 10 by 10. That would include, you know, the artist fees and, you know, some of the lodging and stuff like that.
And that's only fair. I mean, you are flying up, you are taking care of everything for them.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, that would be like on the low side. That would be like a low estimate. Typically, it's more than that because, like I said, people do come for us for really big, elaborate, highly detailed stuff.
So is there any particular things that you enjoy theme-wise? I feel like I've just hit a nerve here. So.
No, there is no nerve. I just think it's cliche for people to say, I love doing everything. But honestly, I'm not going to tell you this is what I love the most because I thoroughly enjoy every single individual project because they're all so different. And I learn something every time.
Ideas come to you.
And there's always something new that I learn out of each experience. But I do love a good theme. I love like pirates. I love Wild West. I love voodoo stuff. Being from New Orleans, I love voodoos. I love cemeteries. I love doing exterior sets indoors. I think there's something kind of
it's like that Disney
magical about that.
Disney Imagineering seems to be a theme. Everybody's like, we like that Disney Imagineering. It's like making Mexico. You know, the restaurant. Like we got a restaurant with a volcano and it's inside of a giant box.
I know. It's undeniable. Like if you walk into an indoor, something that's indoors and you feel like you're outside,
outdoors,
that's
like,
pure magic.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's really awesome. So, I love doing all of it. I really do.
Well, I've seen a lot of your work. I really am impressed by it.
Thank you very much.
I highly recommend everybody checks out. Where can somebody check out your website?
Our website is kstudios13.com. You can email us at kstudios13@yahoo.com. And our YouTube page is K Studios. Just go to YouTube and type in K Studios, and we should be the first thing that pops up. And then our Facebook is K Studios.
I only asked for a website, man. You went through the whole list. I'm impressed. That's great.
Well, I want
usually we just put the link like right here, but now I'm gonna have to be like editing this, be like.
I'm sorry. I just created so much more work for you. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all right. You definitely visit. We'll put the links here down in the show notes or anything, but across the bottom, definitely check out his website. I'm seriously, I think you got a gallery on your site of all your past work and everything.
Yeah, we have on the Facebook page and on our website we have different galleries. Actually, on the Facebook page is more of a complete portfolio of everything that we've done, even the really small stuff. But we try and photograph everything. So.
Okay. So definitely check out his website. It's definitely worth a visit. Find that article for the Rise sign on HauntersDigest.com. Ken, I appreciate you taking the time
Thank you very
out
much.
from
from
selling,
the craziness.
Yeah, from the crazy and everything to talk with us. But I appreciate it and thank you for coming on.
No problem.
We generous humanity from around the world. You will see on display from the infamous Habergastus.
And I'm here with Kip from Pale Knight Productions. I always want to call it studios. I don't know why.
It's Productions, yeah.
So Pale Knight Productions, one of the leading haunt vendor prop creators in the industry. Seriously, when you see what we're about to show you, he reaffirms why he is the man in this industry. So why don't you tell us what's new with Pale Knight?
Sure. So this is actually our 10th year in business. So we decided to bring back some of the old stuff that we hadn't had at the show in a few years that sold well, back then. And so we brought back, I don't remember, 6 or 7 pieces from the past 10 years that have been popular. And then we did a whole slew of new pieces on the other side. Right.
So the old stuff from the previous, like the windows and whatnot, this side.
Exactly.
News this side.
Yeah.
That way. Yeah. We'll be that way and that way.
That's right.
But now I know where the hell I'm at. We can go.
Exactly, yeah. So old stuff we brought back over here. New stuff over there. So new stuff, we did a few new puppet characters. We did one last year. I know. We did one last year that was really popular, so we did 3 new puppets this year. We have a gal in a coffin, a sort of corpse in a coffin that can talk to you and lunge out of the coffin at you. We have a Grim Reaper style puppet that floats in front of a crypt and then can kind of leap out, and it has fog and things. And then we have a Jack-in-the-Box puppet, which jumps out of the box, talks, has a little air horn with it.
Now, when you keep saying puppet, are you meaning are these actor controlled, or are they animatronic puppets, or what's their mechanism?
Yeah, so they're actor controlled with some pneumatic elements sometimes. Usually the jaw is pneumatically controlled.
Oh, okay.
And so, yeah, an actor sits behind the facade or the prop or whatever and can see through the back of the coffin or see through, the back of the Jack-in-the-Box.
So they can see the guests coming.
Yes. They wear a headset and are mic'd into a powered speaker so they can talk and interact and all that. We also did a couple of other carnival-y type effects. We have a cool funhouse mirror video effect and a freak show poster video effect, which are fun. A big dropping Midway sign that you can walk under and the whole sign falls.
Is that because of like American Horror Story?
Yeah, it's partly because...
I've noticed that seems to be a theme this year.
It is, yeah. It's partly because we know that the industry is going to be looking for it because of Freak Show.
Right.
But also we actually quoted a job sort of, in that carnival vein. And some of the custom stuff we imagined for it just seemed like fun to make, so we went ahead and made them. But then we also, sort of our showpiece this year is our Ghost Chamber video effects. So
let's talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
We want to talk about that.
It's using our transparent LCD displays again.
What you used last time was from the old stuff.
Yes.
The warning sign, right?
Yeah, what we call the fear frame. So a warning poster with a TV in front of it, but it looks like glass.
Right.
So this time we've embedded the screen in a sort of sci-fi looking chamber pod kind of deal.
It looks like something you expect to see on Ghost Hunters. Like Zach Braggins is like, we have the new thing to capture ghosts.
Right, exactly. And so it's meant to be actor controlled, although we can, put it on triggers if you want, right? But meant to be actor controlled, you pull one of the levers and you capture a ghost in the chamber, which materializes in there. And then when you press another button, you begin communicating with the spirit. And so it is at first upset and asking you nicely to be let out. It then gets angrier about it, and then it sort of takes matters into its own hands, freaking out. The entire chamber rocks, shakes. There's smoke and air blast effects, lighting effects. So it's
so it's like really a great, as you said, it can be a triggerable thing along the path of a haunt, but it's also a great pre-show, kind of setting the mood, something you expect to see like at a Disney before you enter the main ride.
Yeah, our vision for it, the way that it is really that it would be in a queue area, in a pre-show area, something like that, or that you carve out a scene or something in your haunt and make an entire, effect or an entire room around the effect. But yeah, it's got a lot of attention so far, and we think that.
I'm calling it now. Haunter's Digest says best new product at 2015's TransWorld.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
He thinks I'm just like being nice to him. I'm declaring it now. I've sparked the floor. You won.
I appreciate it. Thank you. We really wanted to do something very big and elaborate and interesting with them that would really kind of show off. And so.
Well, what I love about you is you take something like your fear sign, and you're continuing to evolve it and find new ways to use it and make it more interactive and more really capture the imagination, which is what I like about it.
Yeah, I like at the end of the day our stuff needs to be scary, but I really like telling stories and creating, a little bit more than just something that pops out.
Yeah, that's what makes a great haunt, is the backstory behind it.
So yeah, it's really, the show's been great. We've got a lot of, like I said, a lot of good feedback on it. So we'll see what tomorrow and Sunday looks like. But so far, really pleased with the show.
So where can people go to visit, to order this if they don't make it to the show?
Sure. You can visit our website. It's www.palenight.com.
It'll be right here, so you can click on
very
it.
good. I don't see it now.
It's the imaginary thing.
It'll be there. You can also visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/palenight.
Twitter?
We do have a Twitter, I think. It's Pale Knight _Kip, I think. It's obvious,
You
right?
better hope that's what it is, because somebody's got it now.
Twitter, right? But yeah, our Facebook page often has more photos of like our, complete attraction installs, stuff like that. So you kind of get a little bit here and there that's different.
Well, definitely visit Pale Knight Productions' website. Is that effect, the fear sign, and a lot of the other ones that we just talked about are definitely worth checking out. You just saw them as we were talking. Definitely visit the site. Kip's one of the best in the industry and keeps proving it every year. So be sure to check it out. Anything else you?
No, I think I'm good. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Very nice.
We're good.
Yeah, hope to have another great year and come back next year.
We'll definitely see you next year.
Yeah, very good.
Keep it tuned in. Coming up, more coverage, more spotlight videos. Keep it subscribed to HuntersDigest.com.
We'll attempt to capture a ghost. Type in the coordinates. Okay, we got one. Let's attempt to communicate with the spirit. Is there anything you'd like to say to us?
Please let me out. Let me out.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll give her a moment to acclimate. Take your time. Calm down. It's okay. We're not going to hurt you. Okay. Okay. She's a little agitated, but that's oh, okay. It's not supposed to go that way. We'll try to get someone more friendly next time.
So we're here with the voice from hell, Dick Terhune, the voice, I like to say, of the haunt industry, because you're just the voice of the haunt industry.
I do a lot.
You do a lot.
I do a lot. I work with a lot of haunted attractions in America, in Canada,
which is what
in
we're
the
going to
UK.
talk about.
We're going to talk about that
right now.
Let's do that. Let's talk about that.
So if you're interested, you're going to do a commercial, you're going to do any kind of intro, because God knows we've been trying to get you to do some intros for us.
We're going to do that while we're here.
We're going to do
it
while
while
we're
we're
here.
That's right.
You're going to see it starting in this. It should be in this video. It should have started out with something by him, but knowing us, I'll get sidetracked. He'll get sidetracked.
Yeah, we'll be packing up on Sunday going, man. Yeah.
He is absolutely incredible. Tell us exactly what is it that you perform for a haunter that wants to set him his radio ads or his TV ads aside from the competition?
Well, for one thing, in addition to being a voiceover writer, producer, and actor, I'm also an avid haunter. So I think that gives me an inside.
Well, now you're just showing off.
Hey, we're rolling. It gives me an inside and an insight to what's going on in the industry. So, the example I like to use is the radio and the TV stations are not in the creativity business.
Right.
They're in the real estate business. They will sell you a piece of space.
Yes.
How you fill it is up to you.
Right.
Now, you can build a terrible, crappy structure on your space, or you can build a mansion. What I like to do is build a mansion, a haunted mansion. So when haunters come to me, what I'm able to do is, I think, more easily translate what they're trying to achieve as far as involving and engaging an audience really from the get-go. I mean, your advertising is your first point of contact with your customer. And if that's no good, forget about the rest.
Right.
I mean, if you build it, they will come is not a marketing strategy, it's a suicide note.
Yeah.
So what I try to do is make sure that I create a mystery that can only be solved by the purchase of a ticket.
Right.
They will hear the commercial, they will see the commercial, they will go to the YouTube video, and they'll be intrigued enough that they want to take it to the next step, which is go to the website, and then take it to the next step, which is push that buy button. So it really is.
Or just pick up a phone and say, hey,
or just help me, how do I get a ticket? Yeah. So yeah, it really is a whole strategy from beginning to end.
If, say I'm a haunter.
All right, you're a haunter.
I'm a haunter.
Okay.
And I need radio ads. Now, should I be contacting you with the idea of what the radio ad, obviously, I mean, it's going to say where I'm located, but if I'm like, I have no idea what besides a basic theme, are you going to be able to help me write it, or should I be giving you the dialogue already?
I've worked both ways, wherein haunters have come to me saying, I know exactly what I want to do here.
Right.
In most cases, it's, we really don't know what we want to do. We know we have a good product. How do we get that in front of the people to the point where they want to actually come see it? Right. So what I will always do, either way, is do an in-depth consultation with you. I'm going to find out everything I can about your business, about where it started, about where you want it to go, about what you're doing now, and most of all, what you want to achieve for this season. And so,
that was going to be my next question. Should I wait like 3 days before Halloween to call you?
I think that would be a really bad idea because, I mean, in October, my family hardly ever sees me, except they know someone is coming in and using the bathroom, and they know someone is taking stuff out of the refrigerator.
You're the milk thief.
What?
I knew it. She said I was crazy, but I knew somebody was taking it.
It was
I
me.
knew it.
So,
I'm sorry. I had to
it's
throw a
okay.
little Big Bang
It's okay.
Theory
I'm just
there.
going to write.
Somebody got that joke out there.
I'm gonna jump right back on the train and get it going again. So I am barely capable of coherent speech during the month of October, let alone, hey, we need you to put together a campaign right now. So it's March when we're shooting this. This is the best time to get it done.
It's not lying. It's TransWorld, so it is March.
And if you're worried about, well, what if we decide to change the theme? Or what if we decide that, what if we're going to be able to hire Elvira and we want to promote that? What if we want to change this? What if we're adding a whole new attraction? You cannot edit a blank page.
Yes.
If you give me something now, and I can get started on it, and we know what kind of theme we're working with, or I know what direction you want to go.
Right.
We lock it now. And then come the middle of September, you can call me and say, hey, we need to change this. Great, swap that part out, put this one in.
Right. Once everything's locked down, you've got the script, you got the idea, what's kind of the lead time somebody can expect? How long does it take you to work with?
I like a minimum of 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
I mean, if I can have more, that's fine, but I like a minimum of 2 weeks to be able to create a story, refine a story, really work it, and then, I mean, it's not enough to be able to, pull from somebody's backstory or to create a whole backstory itself. But you have to then get it down into a digestible, comprehensible 60 or 30-second form for a standard broadcast commercial.
Or 15.
Or 15.
Yeah.
Those are the toughest.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks, just go on and say the website a couple times. Well, no.
Yeah, because who wants to hear that 4 times?
Yeah, exactly. So I guess the bottom line is, the more time I have with it, the better.
Okay, so if somebody contacts you, we've got it written, we've got it recorded, we've sent some samples over, clients approved it, you get it to them, what, just as an MP3 and an email, and then we're done?
Yeah, or I can send it straight to whatever media outlets that you've chosen, and it's done. You don't have to touch it. I try to make it as easy as possible.
It's painless.
Because I know, as a haunter myself, I know that come August, September, October, you're dealing with 1,000 other things. So if I can take that
now,
one
we're really
thing,
just dealing with this. This is all that matters. Everything else, ticket sales online, ticket sales
if
marketing,
I can take that one thing off your plate,
hiring actors, it's nothing.
insurance inspections,
Yeah.
on
Fire
and
marshal,
on and
who
on.
cares,
That's right. Does he really have to know?
He doesn't need to know anything.
Yeah,
You just
exactly.
give him,
But if I can take that one thing off your plate, that one thing, that's really the bridge to your customers,
Right.
which is an incredibly important one thing.
the handshake.
Exactly.
Say,
That's
hey,
what it
kid,
is.
How you doing?
Hey,
Nice to meet
buy
you.
a ticket. Hey.
Yeah.
See, there you go.
See how
That's
easy
how it
that
works.
was?
That was a metaphor.
Sorry, it's
It's a
towards the end of
metaphor.
the day, and we're just like so freaking loopy right now. It's back on track.
Okay.
So we've got it. Where can people visit your website so we can find out information about you, pricing, those sort of things?
It's very easy. You can go to voicefromhell.com.
I think we've mentioned that a few times.
I think we have. voicefromhell.com. Or you can reach me directly at darklord@voicefromhell.com.
At Darklord. Say it
Dark
again.
Dark Lord you said Dork Lord. You said Dork Lord. It's Dark Lord
I don't
at
think I
voice.
said
You said
that.
Dork Lord. Dark Lord at voicefromhell.com. I know you said Dork Lord.
But check out Voice from Hell. If you need it for a haunted house or anything else, check them out. We're going to get out of here. It's the end of the day. We're actually going to go to a party here. You going to go to the party?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to go party. You come with us. We're going to show you some more party footage from tonight, the City Museum.
Oh, that's right. That's tonight.
Tonight.
Yeah.
And
This place is crazy.
I heard it called the adult playground with liquor. And when you obviously combine like
I think that's accurate.
and liquor,
I think that's accurate. Giant whale slide.
I think so.
Have you been there?
No,
Yeah.
but I'm looking forward to it.
Giant whale slide that goes from the top floor to the bottom.
With liquor.
With liquor.
With liquor.
With liquor.
Because when you combine tall things and
And spinning going down, that's...
what's the worst thing that could happen?
You know, try to go early in the evening for that, because if you go later, not pretty.
We're out of here. Come with us. Come on.
All right.
Hey everybody, TransWorld 2015 coverage continuing, and I'm here right now with Ben Armstrong from Netherworld Haunted Attraction from Atlanta, Georgia, home of The Walking Dead.
Indeed.
Indeed. I bet
Home
you're
of lots of stuff.
There's a huge film production going on down there, but I mean, Walking Dead. You can't get better than that.
Well, the thing is, it's crazy. For a while there in Atlanta, they were shooting The Walking Dead, Teen Wolf, The Vampire Diaries, and the originals, all of the horror shows. And then last year, they started shooting Constantine, which is another horror television show.
That actually is being shot in
Atlanta.
I thought that was in L.A.
No, it was in Atlanta. As a matter of fact, we built a haunted house for them for one of the episodes. When Constantine runs into a gym.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was all stuff. They were going to shoot on location in Netherworld, and then the guys show up, and they're like, showing me drawings, and I'm like, well, this looks different. And they're like, oh, yeah, we want you to build it in our studio 2 days from now. I'm like, okay, we can try that. So we did, and it was a lot of fun.
Hey, it's a challenge, and I'm sure you're more than tasked for it. So you're going to be, if anybody could do it, you would be able to.
Well, somehow we did it, but it was definitely fun. It was a lot of fun working with them.
But you are also, besides being one of the best haunters in the industry, you also handle the seminar side of things for TransWorld. Is that correct?
I do. I've been doing it for, I think, 10 years now. To me, it's something that I do to, I'll explain how this all works. For a while there's a vendors board, okay, which represents the vendors, and they advise TransWorld. And for a while there, I was on the vendors board before they had a buyers board.
Right.
And I was the only non-vendor on that board. And I got to hear about the problems that the vendors have. And I had no idea. You know, buyers, we don't understand what they go through.
Right.
So I had a real appreciation of their difficulties. And sort of, when I saw like all the things TransWorld was trying to do to help the vendors and help the industry, and the seminars were kind of an important part of the whole component of the show, you know, to make it successful. You know, if the seminars do well, it helps keep booth prices down. It brings people here for the vendors, and I wanted to help the vendors. And selfishly, if the vendors come and make cool stuff, I get to buy it. My haunt gets to be cooler. So I wanted to help, you know. And I've known Jen a long time. We're good friends, so you know, I was helping with that. So for I think close to 10 years, I've been doing the TransWorld seminars, and
people kind of have this weird assumption that TransWorld's a buyer show. I mean, it is a buyer show, but there is an educational component to it.
Oh, yes.
Most people kind of don't even think about. They think like, I mean, I've personally heard like if you're going to want to attend seminars, go to Midwest Haunters or something like that. And I'm always kind of saying, no, TransWorld does have a very good seminar lineup.
Right.
So how do how do you address people to let them know what that lineup is?
Well, the thing about, now I've actually been doing for a while the seminars now at Midwest as well.
Yeah.
And I do the seminars at Halloween Extreme as well.
Right.
So I'm kind of in the middle of all of it, looking at the situation.
You're the master educator. You're the architect now of the
apparently,
haunt industry.
somehow. I'm the guy who can't say no, apparently. But the way the component is, at TransWorld, essentially, not every single person, but almost everybody comes to this show.
Yeah.
So we can really draw on a lot of people to speak. And also there's a demand here for education that's more business oriented.
Right.
So
not
generally
not actor training per se,
Right.
but more
Well-
how to run a successful
Well,
haunt.
that's the thing. The shows that have the seminars that have the sexy titles, scaring people and this, they always are the big draw.
Right.
But it's almost more essential to provide seminars, about how to do your books and stuff like
Right.
that. They don't tend to draw as many people, but because we want to have that component for startup people we feel is important, these shows have a large selection of seminars that are business in nature. Now, there's a lot of seminars, so we try to cover all the topics.
Right. Well,
We have seminars about scares and about actor training and all those sorts of things, but most of them are more geared, towards the professional haunter.
Right. Well, how do you go about finding? How do you go about finding people that can present those topics? Are you coming up with the topics and saying, "Let me find some haunters that I think the crowd would respond to," or is it haunters contacting you saying, "Hey, I think I understand marketing pretty well and want to share my knowledge"? How do you guys?
It's a combination of all of those sorts of things. I've actually spent a lot of time over the years begging and pleading and coercing my friends who I knew had a wealth of knowledge to get them to share it.
Right.
There's a lot of people who want to present seminars, but there's a lot of really good people who don't, that you really gotta, but it's great when they do.
Encourage them to.
Yes. Now, there are people who do want to speak, and if obviously a desire to speak is an important component of it. So, obviously, you got people who come to you who want to speak. You got people that would be good speakers, and you go to them.
Right.
And you just kind of mash it up, and then also topics are submitted. There's always an opportunity. TransWorld's and Jen are very open to receiving input and information. So if people say, "I'd really like a topic on this," we'll try to find a suitable person to speak to that topic. And occasionally what I'll do too as well is, if I'm in the middle of it and I'm starting and I'm gritting it out, and then there's still openings, I'll put out a call. I'll go on some of the Facebook things, or I'll say, "Hey, I'm working on this. If anyone has a topic they'd like to hear, or someone they think would be awesome, Now,
are you saying you just post that on your personal, or are you posting it on a TransWorld?
No, I'll post it. I'll go to some of the
page?
different, I think I post on some of the different Facebook groups, where I know a lot of haunters are located. I might put up a post on Haunt World, and I'll inquire, to a lot of people, what would you like to hear? Who would you like to hear? What would you like to hear about? And I actually did that when I was working on Midwest this year and had a huge response.
Yeah.
A lot of people said, I'd like to hear about this topic. This person is a great speaker, or I'd like to speak. So I was able to go through all that and take a look at it.
Is there a difference in the types, or I don't want to say quality, because obviously all the seminars are going to be top quality, otherwise you wouldn't be letting them speak. But are there certain maybe topics or areas of discussions that maybe TransWorld covers better than, say, Midwest, or Midwest is? I mean, we always said business is obviously going to be a huge topic here because there's a lot of haunt owners.
Right.
Midwest seems to be like actors. Is that more the actor areas?
That's the vibe.
Or are you trying to bridge that gap now?
What you want to do is sort of like, if you're doing like a menu at a restaurant, that's what the seminars are like.
Right.
And the menu of seminars at TransWorld is more business oriented.
Right.
It still has things that would appeal to actors, to makeup artists, to anyone who would be interested.
Well, and that's the reason I asked you.
Then in Midwest, there's still business seminars, but there's more that are geared towards actors and folks of that like that. And then there's also additional opportunities for things like make and takes, chance to get your hands dirty. Halloween Extreme is even more suited towards the make and takes, to the home haunters. But there, you know, anyone can learn. I mean, I am so inspired every time I see amazing home haunts.
Yeah.
I mean, it blows me away the stuff that folks are able to create, you know, with limited resources. It's amazing.
I call them the Imagineer, MacGyver Imagineers.
I know, it's great. And so really in this business, it's sort of like everyone has some valuable asset to add to the table. But you know, people who are more doing home haunts and wanting to learn how to craft with their hands don't necessarily want to take the business. So that's more, so it's almost like a sliding scale, I would say. You know, more business at TransWorld, you know, more haunt actor, performer based at Midwest, and more home haunter enthusiast at Halloween Extreme, but they all cover all the spectrums.
Okay. And when a show's coming up, and I think you mentioned this before, but I just want to recap it. Midwest Haunters is going to be our next convention, I believe, that's coming up. People that are interested in taking seminars, about how soon before the show could they start visiting MidwestHaunters.com to start looking at the seminar schedule to decide what they want to take?
Well, it's difficult to say. There's not like a particular schedule.
Yeah.
The goal is always to get them done as early as possible. But the challenge is when you're laying out a seminar series, you want to have almost every single person nailed down before you announce it at all. Because if someone's not available, maybe you need this person to go here, this person to go there, and it becomes you know. So you want to have the whole piece. And so not only do you have to come up with the whole thing, you have to contact all the people, and you have to get them to agree to everything, and you have to make sure their timings work. So there's a challenge getting it out. The Midwest seminars ideally would have been out for TransWorld. They've been in the can for a couple of weeks, but there's so much involved with this show. You know, it's hard. There's a very small amount of people working on it, and it's difficult. You know, to always get that done. I'm sure the Midwest seminars will be out probably right after this show. Last year, when TransWorld just got it, it took a little longer, but now they can all kind of be done. Almost, you know, in a way, kind of on a flowing almost at the same time. I mean, let's say the TransWorld ones fill up, but you have some people and say, hey, are you going to Midwest? You know, and you can kind of work with that. So I expect it's going to keep getting more efficient. But I would say, you know, TransWorld seminars probably usually December or January are pretty much locked in, and Midwest will probably generally be available at or right after TransWorld.
So if you're thinking about going to Midwest Haunters Convention, visit MidwestHauntersConvention.com or MidwestShow.com, I think is also another URL that works. If you want to check out the seminars, I mean, obviously you're watching this video, TransWorld's already over with. So, but yeah, if you're just curious to know what happened at this year's TransWorld, you can visit haashow.com. Check out this past seminar schedule. Maybe it'll inspire you for possibly next year to say, hey, I'd like to see that. You know, spoken about again. You can contact Ben and see maybe if you can get another speaker to come back and talk about it again. And then Halloween Extreme is coming up in November.
It's coming up in May.
Or May.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought November. That didn't make any sense.
That's the Legendary Haunt Tour.
That's Legendary Haunt Tour. That's where I'm getting
I can't
at.
keep it straight. It's crazy.
It's TransWorld fatigue. We're already 2 days in, and I'm out. So
you know, the only reason I'm here is he told me I would get to sit in a chair. So I'm excited to be sitting down.
That is such an easy thing to get people in here to do it. You just guarantee them that they can sit down for 20 minutes, and they're like, I'll talk about whatever you want.
That's right.
So, but be sure to check out those websites. Ben, I really do appreciate you taking the time. I'm sure you're buying a lot of new things for Netherworld this year that we want to get you back on the show for, because I'm going to this year try to make it down to you. All
right.
And I want to see what goodies you were able to get that
We'll
show.
be lurking for you.
Hey everybody, Trust Area here, continuing coverage from TransWorld 2015. I'm now joined with the gentlemen who represent the Haunted Attraction Association, an organization brought to you, or a collection of haunted house attractions and vendors from inside the haunt industry. And I'm very glad you guys were able to come on to the show and talk to us about the association and its benefits. So, first question, what is the HAA?
Well, HAA stands for Haunted Attraction Association. And we represent all haunted attractions, whether they're an indoor haunt, outdoor haunt, hay wagon, etc. We have a board of 13 members, and board members covers the entire country. They're members from all over the country and represent the industry in different parts of the country. So we're here to promote the industry, and that's one of our missions. We also provide education. We focus on safety training, and then lastly, we do a lot of PR. And Brett, he's very in touch with all the PR program. He heads that program up for us. And I'd like to mention with the PR, also there's a crisis management system. So, when there's an incident out there that happens that may affect our industry in a negative way, we have staff on board and on call that can address these issues and respond to them before they get kind of snowballed out of hand. So
now, are you talking about that as a national level or a local media level, or how do you approach that kind of attack?
Well, we approach it. I mean, we have a PR firm that's looking nationally for us.
Right.
But we really need our members to alert us if something happens locally. I mean, we don't know what's going on. Let's say I'm from Ohio. Something happens in Texas, I may not know about it. So unless they call like Brett or the association, they send us an email. They need to alert us, and then we can get with our PR firm and respond or help them respond and tell them how to do that. Kind of some guidelines and what to do. And it's very important and critical in those situations. I don't know if Brett wants to add some more stuff to that, but he's really the guy that handles that.
Yeah, I mean, the benefit of this is that we have a 24-hour hotline that our members can call. So, for example, this year when something happened with 2 hayride incidents in one weekend, our board of directors was in touch with our PR firm, and what we did was we talked about the incident. We talked about, is this something we want to proactively get out in front and address? Is it something that we want to be more reactive and see how the media handles it? And what we decided to do was we typed up a statement, and we emailed that to our members through our email program that kind of told them what the facts were, told them what they could say to the media, because when there's a crisis, the media in your market might come to you and say, well, John, you have a hayride. What do you think about this? Why is this not going to happen here? And so we put together tools for our members so that they could talk about why their attractions are safe, talk about what they're doing, express empathy for the individuals that were affected. But then that PR firm is on call. So if you do get a call from the media and you're not comfortable answering it, you need more tools, you can pick up that phone and call them right away, and they're there to assist you, which is a huge benefit for our members.
How long has the HAA been an organization? How long have you guys existed?
Well, that's kind of a complicated question because the HAA merged from 2 prior associations. So if you remember way back in about 1998, I believe, there was the International Association of Haunted Attractions.
Right.
And that group existed for a long time. I was a member of that group. And then what had happened was the bylaws in that group were written that anybody could be on the board of directors, including an enthusiast, including someone that wasn't an owner or operator. So there was a lot of concern that an association represents an industry, and it is a business. So you have people whose entire livelihood is tied up in this industry, and then you could theoretically have someone elected to the board that might be a makeup artist. They're still committed to this industry, but not at the level that an owner or operator is. So when that kind of came to light, there were 2 courses of action. Some people stayed with IAHA and changed the bylaws, and some people decided it was easier to start a new association, which was a haunted house association. About, I'd say, 5 years ago, we realized that having 2 associations was not good for our industry because there was just a ton of duplication of effort. I mean, you were running 2 PR campaigns, you were trying to run 2 safety programs, 2 of everything. And so the 2 associations met and decided that it's best to have 1 association. That would be stronger for us. And so that's when we formed the Haunted Attraction Association.
one of the benefits of joining an association, I mentioned, or as you mentioned, you have a PR firm that can help haunters prepare, with dealing with media if an incident happens. Also, reflect as representing the industry as a whole. A lot of professional organizations, say for instance like home builders, contractors from around the nation, they have their own professional organizations that provide lobbyist organizations. Do you provide any kind of that aspect that you can, say for instance, a haunter has problems with a particular state's fire code, that you could have a lobbying firm or some kind of person that go in there and help deal with the state?
I'll talk about what happened in Pennsylvania, and then John can maybe talk about the chaos program that we have as well. So about 10 years ago in Pennsylvania, the Department of Agriculture, that's the institution in Pennsylvania, the department that oversees haunted attractions. Well, they decided that they were going to start enforcing laws that were on the books that they had not previously enforced.
Right.
And so when they decided to do that, they came to haunted attractions and they said, listen, there's these statutes, we're going to start coming, we're going to be inspecting you, we want you to meet these certain guidelines. But they, of course, were not experts because they specialize in amusement rides, this particular department. So they said they wanted to work with us. And one of the things that they saw was that this industry had an association. And in Pennsylvania, in Philadelphia, we also had a subgroup called 13 Haunts. So they saw that there were these two groups, these two associations. They saw that we were professionals, and they worked with us proactively so that we could work with the state to write our own training materials, to write our own training classes, to write our own certification tests in Pennsylvania, because they saw that we had these resources to us and that they saw that we were a real industry. If there were not associations, and they point blank said to us, if you didn't have these things in place, we would have probably come in and just told you this is the way it's going to be. So we don't have the resources currently to be going out and lobbying different government agencies. And also in the authorities having jurisdiction all over the country vary so much. So we do have some safety guidelines that we think are best practices that are kind of very general. But we, as an association, are there to support our members in being safe. So when something does come up like that, we're there to support. Right now, there's a lot of talk about hayride safety. So in our chaos program this morning, we were talking about best practices for hayride safety and working with members about that. So we certainly have those resources, and I think that's one of the reasons why you want to have an association.
I just want to add on the safety and the lobbyists you're talking about. I mean, like Brett said, we don't have the resources to go, to every state, and we don't really need to do that. I mean, there is an internet or national fire code, and what we do is, we have those items, and every jurisdiction interprets them differently. Right. So what we do a lot is talk with the members from different areas and say, listen, this is how we interpret these. If you need some help talking to your local people, here's the board, here's a lot of members, reach out to us and we'll talk to them and how we've done it in different areas. And, some interpretations of these rules are, quite exaggerated.
Right.
All right. So,
but at least you can find common ground.
Yeah. I mean, if they had their way, you wouldn't be able to use a piece of wood in your haunt. And that's crazy. So, until the fire marshal, they want to hear it from someone else. So if they hear it from like Brett or someone else with the association, and say, well, really, if you look at the code a little closer, you're allowed to use wood. You can fire treat it and do these things to it. And next thing you know, they're back into construction and everything's smooth and going on. We talk about the chaos, and that is a program that was probably put in place, in late 90s maybe, or early 2000? I don't know.
Mid-2000.
Yeah, mid-2000. And that was a program, I think, derived out of the PA safety initiative they had out there. But it's an invaluable safety program. It's industry specific. We start off by showing what can go wrong. So once you start what can go wrong, you're like, oh my God, okay, now I'm ready to listen how to prevent this activity. Right. So then you sit in there and you start to learn a lot of things that maybe people take for granted. How do you handle extension cord? Just some simple things, and there's also complicated things. And the one challenge I guess we have is a lot of people get in this industry because they're hobbyists, and they slowly build into a full-time business or open to the public. So making that transition, sometimes these safety things are kind of overlooked. So we sit them down and say, listen, this is what you got to do. If you're going to get open, now you're going to open to the public, you've got to get with your building department, your zoning department, fire marshal, and these are the issues you need to talk about. Be prepared and to address them, or you're not going to get open.
So where can people find, say I'm a new haunter, I'm just now entering from a home haunt, backyard haunt, now I'm wanting to go more into the mainstream, I've just rented a building and I'm turning this into a professional attraction. What kind of resources or educational ways that I could learn from you guys online or at the conventions? Where can I find those sort of things to help get that knowledge?
Well, the first step is joining the association, and then it opens up the door to network with people that have 15 plus years experience.
Right.
So most people don't have a mentor getting into this, so you need a mentor to kind of like answer those questions for you. So the association will hook you up with some people that you can kind of be a springboard, talk to them and get some feedback.
A good support group.
I mean, that's also why we have the Chaos program. So this morning there was this 4-hour Chaos program that we present every year at TransWorld. We always are trying to strengthen it, and we look at that as one of our key parts of our mission is to protect haunted attractions through education. So a lot of times when you go to a convention like TransWorld, it's really great because you can learn so much. There's so many seminars, but at the end of the day, when you look at that seminar list, it's always filled with things that I call sexy. It's about scares, it's about theming, it's about costumes, it's about makeup. People typically don't want to sit down and take a course about safety. And that's where the association stepped in and said, we always want to offer this. We want to support it. We want to keep it, sometimes it's free for our members depending on our budget. Sometimes it's a small fee for members and a little higher for non-members. But we're providing that education. We're subsidizing that education. And we think that that's really critical. And we do that every year. We're talking about expanding that now to MHC. But that class was designed so that kind of everybody in the haunt industry could kind of get on the same page with what is this base level of safety protocol we all can agree on. And then we do things like the State of the Industry seminar that we'll have here, where the whole board will participate and we'll talk about what's happening currently for that year. What are the trends? What are these, I'm sure that at this year's industry seminar, people are going to talk about these safety incidents that happened in the past year. And all of that is free. So a lot of times you'll come here, you can't afford to necessarily do every event as a first-time attendee. Or every seminar, we keep a lot of our things free or very low cost so that as a new person, you can come, you can hear the board answer questions, and then you can, even if you're not going to be a member, I don't think a board member after that seminar is going to turn you away and say, I'm not going to talk to you because you're not a member. I mean, we're really doing this for the greater good. And, a few years ago, we changed our logo to say, instead of the Haunted Attraction Association, your Haunted Attraction Association. And I really believe that, the association represents the industry, and the association will only be as strong as the industry wants it to be. It has to have people that want to contribute. And I mean, some years you have more participation among owners and operators, and some years you have less. And so I do really think when people ask, what can the association do for you? It's kind of, you want to turn that around. Like, what can you do for the association? Because at the end of the day, when something happens, you're going to want that association to be there to back you up, to talk to your fire marshal, to be there in a crisis communication situation, to have that support for you.
On the Chaos, one of our goals as well with the Chaos, and it's not quite in place yet, but we're slowly introducing OSHA to it, because there's an OSHA 10 certification, and ultimately we'd like to get to that. So where you can come do the training and get actually an OSHA certified card. So in order to get that in place, so we need to work with OSHA and we need to get it approved, because no one wants to sit here, for 4 hours, let alone 10 hours in a seminar. They'll lose, the trade. They lose the whole day. So we're working with the authorities on how we can incorporate an OSHA style type training to complement the Chaos seminar. So it's exciting, and it's good for us. The operators are going to love it. It gives them a lot of leverage, not leverage, but it gives them a lot of credibility when they talk to their people back home, their fire marshals and things, and that we are an industry that is safe and making efforts. And then going back to what Brett was saying about having the members, they really need to be involved with the association. If there's a situation and you corrected it with a document or something, we'd like for you to share that with us. So like as someone else, we could put that on our members only area, and then it can be utilized by other members that may encounter that same situation. So it's kind of a pooling of a lot of information and data to help people, answer questions that come up to them. So,
no, and I think that was great. I mean, the more information you can make available, as you said, the stronger, the better the industry becomes. I notice you guys also accept vendors from within the haunt industry as members as well. Can you kind of explain, I am a vendor. What would be my benefit for joining the association?
Well, for one, I mean, everybody in the association, they're your customers. So that's number one. You support the association, you support your customers by being part of the association.
Right.
It kind of filters back down to the vendors. We have an annual auction, and we ask vendors to donate. We also ask the vendors to be members. And we'll publish a list of the vendors that support the industry, which is basically supporting the haunted houses or the haunted attractions throughout the whole world. And the buyers will go to those vendors first. I mean, because they're the ones that are basically helping with our PR program, helping with our safety training, and they're the one providing the funds to help that effort.
Right.
So it's very important. When I go to make my buying, if I had a choice between a vendor that supports the industry, I'm going to pick them every day.
Right.
There's no question.
Yeah, I mean, John's exactly right with that auction. I mean, that is how we fund our PR campaign. It's how we subsidize our education training. And so a strong industry is going to benefit vendors. And so we ask vendors to support us, but then we go back and support them. So we also have an award ceremony called the Oscars every year at TransWorld. We recognize vendors. We recognize best new products on the show floor. And one of the things that we've started doing is our PR firm will now, after TransWorld's over, will go back and try and secure press in the either nationally or in the local markets to recognize the haunted attractions that were recognized as award winners, but also the vendors. And then we do vendor spotlights on social media, on Facebook and Twitter. We have a Scream Zine, which goes out about every 2 weeks, sometimes more during the season, and we'll have vendor spotlights there. So, I mean, we're trying to support vendors that support the association, because it's really that synergistic effect. You see how big the show is this year.
Yeah.
The show is big. Vendors have awesome displays. There's more vendors, and haunts are having good years.
Yes.
Based, obviously, there's local factors with weather and other things, but when haunts do well, vendors do well.
Right.
And so that's kind of what our PR campaign is about, is promoting positive press coverage, because when a haunt succeeds, they come to TransWorld with bigger pockets,
It's a very
and they can buy more stuff.
Right.
And then next year, their customers see all that cool stuff, and it builds. And so we look at it as a synergistic effect. So we do ask for support, like John said, because the support that we get, in turn, we feel benefits not only the members, but will come back and benefit those vendors as well.
Alrighty. And if somebody's interested, where can they find more information about the association and how to become a member?
Well, certainly online. So hauntedattractionassociation.com is our website. We just launched a brand new website right before TransWorld. We're obviously on social media, on Twitter, but if you're at the show, we have a booth and our directors are there to talk to you, and you'll see all the signage for all of our events. So we want people to come out, learn at the state of the industry, come to the Oscars awards banquet, that's free as well. All those types of events, the auction, you can come, and directors, you see our nice new blue fleeces. We're trying to stand out with a different color, because we want people to come up and approach the directors and be able to talk to us, interact. And I do think, after talking with one of us, I think people will certainly be comfortable and understand why it's important to support the association.
Alrighty.
I believe Brett covered it, and we have a lot of events. If you're at the trade show this week, we have some great events. Our chaos program was today, so that's over. But we have a lot of other great events. The auction is phenomenal. We'll have probably 800.
We'll actually be at the auction to film some of that, so
all right.
It'll be included in this conversation.
And actually, with the auction this year, we're going to have a PowerPoint to display the vendor's name, and it gives a lot of recognition to the vendors there. So everybody in that audience, it's like you're on a spotlight during that 3 to 5 minute auction period for your item. Right. So at that point, it's all about you.
Right.
So if you get an item, it's all about you for that time frame, and then everybody in the room knows who you are. So that has very, very big impacts on whether people buy from you.
And I think I saw some of the footage from last year. It seems like a lot of the haunters that get together really seem to, it's a nice banquet. They can sit down, they can talk, they can enjoy, mingle, relax, and then be able to kind of.
It is, yeah. It's a very nice setting. We got tables. You sit down. There's an open bar. It's a very relaxed atmosphere. No. No, it's a cash bar.
Everyone will be there.
Yeah. But it is a very relaxed atmosphere.
Yes.
Auctions are in general are fun, and the haunted houses are fun. You put those two together. I mean, it's a great event. It's we enjoy it. We run it up front, but it's just a lot of energy in the room. You get to see your name up on the thing as far as selling and donating, supporting the industry. The buyers see that, and then we mentioned the State of the Industry seminar. You got to come to that. Throw out, issues or give your 2 cents of what's going on in your market, because we're out east. We don't know what's going on in the south and the west, and it's great to get the different perspectives, and everybody can benefit from that seminar. And then the Oscars is a great event. So if you're at TransWorld, get to the Oscars, get to the State of the Union, get to the auction, come see us. Brett and I will be running around all over the place. Feel free to grab us, say hi, or stop by the booth.
You've heard it. I definitely welcome everybody to go check out their website. I appreciate you guys taking the time to speak with. I know one of you guys have to go do a seminar right now, so I definitely want to get you out of here so you're not late to that. But I do appreciate you guys coming on. Check out the website for the Haunted Attraction Association. It sounds like it's a great organization. I wish you guys a lot of success with it. I'll definitely be looking into it and possibly joining from a vendor's perspective. And hopefully one day also as an attraction owner, so double header.
Great.
So
thanks for having us.
All right, appreciate
Stay tuned. More TransWorld 2015 coverage coming to you from HauntersDigest.com. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, Charles Terry here, TransWorld 2015 coverage continuing right here, right now on HauntersDigest.com. I am joined with the legendary Chad Savage from Sinister Visions.
Yes, that
Why
is
did
correct.
all of a sudden I forget that? We've done so much business.
You looked so hesitant. It was like, is he pausing for dramatic effect, or does he not remember what my company's called?
It's the last day of the show.
It's been a long week.
And I know I'm probably saying that like in every clip, but my brain has melted from
Well, it's Sunday
everything.
morning.
Yes.
There were multiple parties last night.
Yes, late. Price is Fright was last night.
Price is Fright was last night. Skull and Bones was last night. There were a lot of drink tickets.
It was very, 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 very liquidy night.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Good night, though.
2 great parties.
So, let's talk about you and
Okay.
what you do. For those that don't know somehow, Chad is an incredible graphic designer, website developer in the haunt industry. You've been how long have you been in the doing this now in the haunt industry?
And the haunt industry went exclusive haunt industry around 2002, 2003. I've been doing web design since 1996. Started doing graphic design in high school, illustrating since I was a kid.
Really?
And I'm 46 now, so somebody with less mush between their ears can do the math on that one.
You're 46. You do not look 46. You look
I'd
much
say
older,
clean living, but clearly no, not at all. After last night.
You didn't hear what I said, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Okay,
I
we're just ignoring it. So yeah.
I've met you. I know what to. Yeah.
He knows. To be fair, I do a lot of web development. I'm starting to get more into the haunt industry, doing haunt specific. But I mean, I design HauntersDigest.com. I do the mobile app development. But most people don't realize we've actually worked together on a lot of projects. As I like to say,
the TransWorld websites.
The TransWorld website, Midwest Haunters website. I think you still use my framework on that.
He's the code monkey. I'm the art monkey.
And I think that's why I like it best. Whereas Chad's not wild about coding all night and dealing with. He'll send me a message like at 2 a.m. Like it's just asterisk thud asterisk. Why is this not working? And I'll just pull out my phone. I'll be like, it's because you're not
you have
doing.
A semicolon in line 328, idiot.
And then he's like, I love you. And I'm like, Chad's gay for my code. I know. So
I am gay for his code.
But I'm not wild about the graphic design because, I can do graphic design, but I'm not an artist like you are. I just pen and paper and stuff like that. And Adobe Illustrator, I hate. So, I think it's a good synergy between the two. So actually, if you hire me, I'm going to refer you to Chad for any logo design. And Chad, you
if
refer
need
clients to
anything
me.
more complicated than just a straight up HTML site, there's a good chance I'm going to call this guy.
And you use a lot of my frameworks, and I developed a haunt theme framework to kind of help ease.
It's a beautiful thing.
Guys that like to build WordPress, and we're both WordPress people.
Yep.
So I built a framework to kind of help back end stuff work smoothly. And Chad, you've used that in the TransWorld's side, MAC.
Few things now,
a couple of your other clients.
Yep.
So, it's a good synergy. I like working with them, and Chad is a great guy to work with. I think
this guy, on the other hand,
I'm a nightmare. I am a nightmare.
Needy, so needy.
It's true. I need logos, man. I hate it. You do them like nobody I've seen.
I'm just mean. Charles is awesome.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. And seriously, you logo, call Chad. Seriously. And this is his technically competition if you want to look at it that way. Logos, go to you. Programming, come to me. E-commerce, I'm your guy. And he'll
if you want a web store, I'll make it pretty, but he'll make it work.
And that's what makes it important.
That should be the tagline. I'll make it pretty, he'll make it work.
So, but what else besides Sinister Visions and your web development? What else do you do? You sell T-shirts. You do the zombie army thing.
Basically anything visual. I had to. Currently, I describe the company as dark art and visual design, which kind of covers the gamut. I do actual painting, illustration, digital illustration via Photoshop. Anything you need to market your attraction or business, artwork, posters, if you need a character created, logos and branding.
And you don't just stick to haunt industry. A lot of our haunters, they have side businesses.
It's primarily the haunt industry because I love it, but I worked corporate for a lot of years. I can do whatever you need.
So just give me a call. And then you also do the Cult of the Great Pumpkin.
Cult of the Great Pumpkin.
Tell us about that. What is that?
Basically, I was talking to Rallis Khan about it earlier. Cult of the Great Pumpkin is me having me for a client to do a Halloween website that features whatever I feel like doing. So it's me doing what I do for everybody else, but for me. With me telling me what to do, which I don't get to do that very much. So right now it's the website. In October, I spent all of October uploading out of date and out of print old school sound effects records, stuff you just cannot find anymore. They're all still up there on the site via SoundCloud. It's all, as far as I know, it's all copyright-free stuff because all the companies that did them are out of business. There's nobody to claim it anymore. So it's, great old stuff we grew up with, real nostalgic hisses and pops from the LPs and everything. I just started doing a series of T-shirts, which have been really well received. I'm a little surprised at people that have come over and taken the time to tell me how much they like them, and great, it's just me having fun basically. So, and it'll continue to pumpkincult.com. It'll just continue to be whatever I can think. And I put, when I come across somebody does like a limited edition print,
right?
Like right before the show, a guy did from Halloween 3, there's the Scare-a-thon, that they talk about through the whole movie. Well, he did like a full-page newspaper ad poster of the Scare-a-thon featuring the mask and what time it's on, everything, as if it would appear in the movie, but as a limited edition art print, which I ordered like that.
Yeah.
But that I immediately had to post that on the website because you know how cool it is. So stuff like that, post throughout the year. There's always cool stuff happening, cool stuff coming out. I have a feed that I've put together that pulls news from multiple Halloween sites. So
including
I don't
Haunter's
post,
Digest.
Yeah, I don't post everything, just the stuff I think is cool. So.
And you also have a lot of, one of the other things I like that you do is you have a personal Instagram feed for the places that you go.
Yep.
And it's just the eyes on up.
My signature half-head selfie, because nobody wants to see all of this. I put in just enough to let you know, yeah, that's me.
But it's always interesting to see where and it's hashtag Chatitude.
Yeah, it's not me, it's what's behind me that I'm photographing.
So definitely, if you get an opportunity, check them out. Where can people visit to find more information and see a portfolio of your work and everything?
Well, the Instagram you just mentioned, that's Savage Sinister. For the design side of things, sinistervisions.com. For my artwork, chadsavage.com. And as I said, for Cult of the Great Pumpkin, go to pumpkincult.com. And then those three have links to further things.
Yeah, like Behance, Dribble, those sort of places. So definitely check them out. And then, is there anywhere we can? We've done video chats, and your office cracks me up. Is there anywhere anybody can see like photos of the? I mean, if you get a chance to see his office,
I need to do like a pictorial or something.
What was that movie with the guy who went out to the Annabelle? He collected all the creepy shit. Brought it back.
Annabelle.
Annabelle. Yeah, Annabelle.
Well, it started with the not The Conjuring. No, it was The Conjuring.
I think
and
so.
And then the Annabelle was the sequel. Yeah.
For those that don't, it was the two ghost hunters. They go out, they find something. They
find something evil and they bring it back and keep it safe. That's my office.
Yeah, it started in his office. You watch a video chat with him. I'm always expecting to see something floating behind his head or something like that.
I'll tell you two things about that. Number one, I got to a saturation point where I was like, I don't know, maybe this is getting out of hand. And then when Ray Bradbury died, I forget which site it was, but they posted a great retrospective about him, and they had a photo of his office. Way worse than mine.
You to shame,
or better, depending on how you look at it. So I felt vindicated there. The other thing is I work closely with Zombie Army Productions.
Yeah.
And
which we talked to John.
Yep. John's little brother, Kyle.
Yeah.
We text back and forth whatever we're working on, and if he's not getting back to me, I will take a picture of something in my office, something hideous, and send it to him, and just to light a fire. And he will immediately hop to, as long as I don't send him another picture.
Because he's afraid he'll be the next exhibit.
He's like, all right, I'll get it.
So definitely check it out. Visit his website. He's definitely worth checking on. And contact him if you need any website graphic design needs. And you're very honest. If you think you can't handle it, you throw it to me. Vice versa.
If you describe something that I'm pretty sure I can do, I'll just tell you.
Yeah. So and that's why I think you get, if you visit his Haunter's Digest vendor profile, you got 2,000 reviews. I mean, some of them ridiculous. And it's just nothing but Chad's the man. Chad found exactly what we needed. Definitely check out his vendor review profile.
And
on Haunter's
those
Digest.
reviews were worth every penny
that you bought. Yes, I don't doubt it. So, Chad, thanks for coming on. Stick around. We're going to continue. This is the last day of TransWorld, so we're going to go around real quickly to all the vendors, try to do last-minute interviews with them, see what the latest products was, because there was so much. What did you like from TransWorld this year?
I've only gotten to walk the floor a couple of times, but Grimstitch Factory.
Really?
I started seeing his stuff when he started a year or so ago, and this is the first time I've actually gotten to see his work up close. I'm just a big fan. I love what he does. Every time CFX and Immortal Masks, their booths,
yeah, we just
stand
did
there with
that.
my jaw on the floor.
Did you see Kip Polly's Ghost Machine?
Yes.
We declared that the other day on Facebook as game over, folks. We found the best product, Kip Polly's Ghost Chamber.
Pretty spectacular.
From Pale Knight. We'll have it, if you haven't seen it, rewind the video, rewatch it again, or find it on our YouTube. I love that thing. I want that in just my house, so when people come over, it's something fun to do.
I haven't figured out how to fit it in my office.
Actually, I would expect to see that just constantly. That girl, let me out, Chad.
Shut up, I'm working.
Chatitude.
Hashtag Chatitude.
So stay tuned. More coverage coming from TransWorld 2015 right here on Haunter's Digest. everybody, Charles Terry here, continuing TransWorld 2015 coverage. Excuse my voice. It's day, oh my God, what, 3? Oh,
day 3, crazy day 3.
And it's already been City Party, Froggy Party, Intro Party, and about 20 other just get-togethers. My voice is completely shot already, and I still got one more day of interviews. I don't even know how you're surviving.
My voice is trashed as well, but this is the best it's going to be. So I'm glad you got me now. Otherwise, it's going to be out of commission again. So
well, I'm actually happy. We didn't even know you were going to be here, and somebody said you were, and I was like, I absolutely, if he comes by, let me know, because I'm a huge fan of yours and you're haunting, and I wanted to talk to you because I think you do something that's not kind of the norm in the haunt industry, and it's so well known for being how it is. And I just love to pick your brain and kind of get a chance for other haunters to hear your opinions on the industry and how you run a haunt.
Well, people either love it or they hate it, and the ones that hate it have really no idea of what we do, and they have their own perceptions about what's going on, and I can tell you right now, they're absolutely 100% wrong. Really? It's I'm very creative in the way I put this together, and to do it in a way that brings in a lot of mystery. That's the whole idea.
Right.
And that's exactly what happened. But it amuses me to hear all the things, the brainwashing and the murder, and I mean, I hear the craziest things. I'm like, really? My God. But
I heard somebody said you were running a cult or something.
A cult.
Yeah.
And we're torturing people, and we're, you name it, and it's absolutely the opposite. But I get a big kick out of it because the only folks that really know what's going on are those few select folks that actually take the tour, and they become the biggest fans.
Hardcore.
And they don't say what's going on because out of respect for the mystery of the whole scenario, they keep quiet as well. So it's amusing to hear everybody fill in the blanks with what they think is happening, because I guarantee you don't know what's happening.
So do you think that, and first off, so people know what's going on, you're Russ McCamey, McCamey voice.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'm Russ McCamey from McCamey Manor. Some consider this to be the world's most extreme haunt, but
from
that's
San Diego, California.
In San Diego, California, and how can you beat an extreme haunt in San Diego? So how extreme can it be?
Okay, Rosie, you're done. You're done. You're done. You're done. Close it up. Okay, you are done. You're done. Well, you're okay. You're okay. I got a couple of questions to ask you. Okay. So even though you were only in like 5 minutes, give us your impression. What did you think? Talk to us.
I didn't think it was going to be like that. Like what? I thought, like that, anything. Nothing can prepare you. 5 minutes, I was done. 5 minutes. It's embarrassing, but that's how bad it is.
Where did your haunt come from? I mean, what's the history?
I've been doing haunts forever, whether it be in a one-bedroom apartment or in the Navy. I was in the Navy for 23 years. I was doing haunts on a ship. It didn't matter where I was at, you know.
Really?
And then things started kind of progressing, of course. And
McKinney Manor rocks!
Yeah!
and Haunters Digest.
And Haunters Digest.
And Haunters Digest rocks!
That's twice he's done it.
That's twice. You always got those guys out here, right? I'm telling you.
We got our groupies. You got your groupies.
Yeah, I love it.
We love our groupies.
I love it. And so, you know, we've been doing this thing forever. My partner in crime in the haunt world here is Carol Schultz, and she's a big part of this. And we've just tried to put something together that's really unique. It's just grown. I've never wanted to do the average haunt. So even when I was doing whatever on a ship, it was not a boo scenario. It'd always be something that was audience participation. That's my background, is theatrical.
Yeah.
I want it to be a cinematic, in-your-face, live your own horror movie experience. I want people to really come out going, holy smokes, what the heck was that?
Right.
You know, I mean, I want to be the guy that when they're old and gray and their kids come to them and say, hey, Mom, Dad, man, I went to this cool haunt. I want them to be the ones going, oh, no, let me tell you about a haunt that I went to 30 years ago. That was a haunt, you know, so.
Tattoos. Tattoos. What do they mean? Relax.
No, I need to
Relax, relax.
I can't go in the box. I'm one out, please. Let me out. I'm not going in the box.
Deep breath. Steve, deep breath. You're all right, man. You're tough. You're doing it. You're tough. You're tough, buddy. Don't cry. You're all right, man. You're okay.
Come on, Steve. Hang in there.
I'm trying. You're doing good.
That's
I think
my
you're
goal.
definitely well on that.
And
on
well,
that
if I
on
do that, I'm a happy camper because this is all for the fans. You know, we're not making a single penny on this thing. This is all, you know, the admission to this rascal is 4 cans of dog food or a bag of dog food. And this is a $1 million haunt. Trust me, there's a lot of bells and whistles going on. And it's not just the stuff that, again, people think they see. We have a lot of high-end special effects, one-of-a-kind things that you'll never see any place because with my haunt, it involves all these different things that you don't get anywhere else. So we have to build them our own. And it's unique, it's fun, it's scary.
Well, I seen your haunt on Travel Channel, HGTV, you know, during the Halloween specials that they usually do out. And one of the gags I think I saw that I liked so much was somebody just like, they were walking by a couch, the couch opened up and you just grabbed him and pulled him into the couch. And their friends were screaming. And I was sitting there wondering, like, did she not become any further in the haunt?
No, she was gone. That was it. She was taken away.
That was it.
That was it.
That's awesome.
That was it.
That's a unique experience for her and for her friends.
And then she's taken to a holding bin, and she's got to sit in a holding bin, which I don't want to tell you about, but she's got to be away for a while, dealing with a lot of critters that you don't want to have any contact with.
You know,
so her tour is still going on, but in a very different way.
In a very different way.
But all that
it just turned into the Saw movie.
Yes. But all that footage that is out there is from 4 or 5 years ago, so it's nothing like that.
What it is now.
In fact, I don't have the couch anymore. Those are more kind of old school fun scares.
Right.
I'm telling you right now.
So you're always evolving.
Always, every year.
So if somebody went last year, they're like
completely different. And like I tell everybody, and I'm dead serious, everybody out there watching, listen to me. This is not some crazy tagline. Listen to me. You really don't want to do this.
So, would you recommend anybody? Would you recommend anyone to come here?
Never.
An extreme masochist, maybe. Other than that, no.
No one.
Even Ryan.
Don't come.
Do not come here.
Yeah. Do not
want to meet me.
Do not come.
I say that. I mean it. You'll hear everybody else say that on the exit
best
interviews.
Sales pitch I've heard. You don't want to come.
You don't want to do this. Don't come here because you don't understand. Do not come here. And I'm dead serious. We have a lot of fans. On the waiting list, there's over 27,000 people on the list. Only a small percent of these folks are going to get in because
you're running this out of your home, aren't you?
There's 5 different locations. One location is the home. Okay. There's 5 locations. We don't know where we're going to go, including this year, a new location. This is kind of an exclusive. You have to have a passport in order to get to the haunt this year.
That's cool.
So you can make of that what you want, but the requirements are, there's a bunch of requirements. You just don't say, hey, Russ, I want to go. You got to be selected and handpicked. You got to have a letter from your doctor, psychological and mental, saying that you are able to do this haunt. You have to sign a 5-page waiver. You have to go through a numerous screening process, one-on-one with me. So they know exactly what they're getting in for. There's no surprises. They know.
Well, and that leads me into my next kind of question for you. A lot of haunts in the United States, some allow touching, some have a very forbidden rule about actors not touching their patrons, because some haunters are just, there are very litigious people in this world that will just sue you for anything.
Right.
And they're afraid that if, they get hurt or they get touched, or, the person just comes up saying whatever, that they may end up getting sued. You are obviously not worried. Are you even worried about that? Or how do you even approach that? It sounds like if you're having them psychologically screened and doctor approved and everything else, it sounds like you're pretty well covering. And as you say, I'm meeting one-on-one, so they know what they're getting
Absolutely.
into. But there's still the chance somebody's going to go in there and say, I thought you were just over-exaggerating. I didn't know you were going to put a can of worms on my head.
I'm telling you, beforehand, during the selection process, I spell it out. they know, for example, that depending upon what area they go to, because again, there's 5 different locations. I don't know what area that we're going to. It's not deemed by me. This haunt is being live streamed from Las Vegas. Las Vegas watches our haunt. We have numerous cameras set up throughout the locations. There's some very select people who pay a lot of money to watch McCamey Manor during the events. What are they doing in Vegas? I have no idea. I don't make any money on this whatsoever, not a dime. But we're in contact with Vegas. They tell us what locations they want. They tell us what challenges they want to see. So we have to be on the fly. We don't know where we're going to go.
That just kind of fits the mentality. It's like
it's
anything
insane.
you want in Vegas. They're like, if you want to see people being freaked out in another
it's
place.
Insane. But also, but the people that go through, they know, and I spend so much time, so they can't come back and say, I didn't know that you were going to shave my head bald. Yes, you did know. And everything that we do, I film. I film every second, every conversation.
Right.
So
if you end up in court, you
it's
just
all
show
right
it to a
there.
judge and say, hey, look,
absolutely.
Because it's plain doctrine. They knew what they were getting
And
into.
people are begging to get here. I mean, we have people from around the world trying to get here. It's insane.
And that's brilliant. You don't hear a haunt that has a waiting list of like a private club. You literally
It is a
VIP
private club because I don't care about the money.
Yeah.
And that makes a lot of haunt folks mad because like, what, he's doing all this stuff and getting all this publicity and it's, I don't care about the money. I do this truly for the love of the fans.
Yeah.
I want to give them an experience that is like none other. I want to give them their opportunity to live their own horror movie, and that is so cool for me. So it is $1 million haunt, but I don't care. We spend everything. All of our waking hours is up 24/7 just for them. That's what it's all about.
So with it having such an exclusive list, and it sounds like the show, what's the average, like for somebody that goes through your attraction, what's the average length of time that they spend there?
But the tour takes, if you actually were able to survive, it takes 8 hours. It's an 8-hour tour.
It's an 8-hour tour.
And only 2 people go in per day. No, we run year round.
Oh, you're real.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I don't do that for the fans. I run year round for me because I'm an older guy, although, I'm whatever, but I only have 30 good seasons left. Well, I don't want to just have 30 more seasons of McCamey Manor. Man, I want to do this thing every flipping day. I love this stuff. So we run it, all year long for me because we have such a good time doing it. It's a blast.
That is crazy.
But yeah, it takes 8 hours to get through. Nobody has made it through the haunt yet. Not a single. And we don't get wimpy guys. We don't get the average. We don't get guys like me. I'm average Joe Haunter. We get Navy SEALs and divers in the military and the Marines and the big tattooed biker guys. We get the hardcore group.
Yeah.
So we get the guys that are like challenging me, like, Russ, you can't break me. Come on, bring me in. You can't do it.
You're literally breaking.
It's like, whatever. We can break anybody. Nobody has made it. If you watch the videos, they all come out crying and sobbing.
You're not like some kind of unofficial CIA black site, are you? For like,
we know what to do. Let me tell you,
you don't
that
have
though.
like a Guantanamo Bay division somewhere, do you?
We've watched some Gitmo Bay footage, specials. All of our team, we're going, what? That's nothing. We're worse.
We're way worse.
We're worse than they are, and we have to do it all in 8 hours. We have to get inside your head in just a couple of minutes. We don't have months and months to do that.
So do you sit like with a person before and be like, do you have any phobias tell us about? And they're like, nope, not giving you any heads up.
Yeah, they try not to tell me. I do ask. I want to know what they're scared of because every haunt is different, and we work around each tour for that individual person. So
do you
we
get like
find
a sixth
out,
sense on them after a while? Kind of like you can just size up a person?
We can size them up real fast. Well, people break really quick. They're so scared before they get in there that, most people literally last 5-10 minutes and they're done. And that's a shame because we don't want that. We have backup people to go, right? Yeah. But we want people to make it. I want them to get as far as they can because for me, it's about making a movie. Every time they go through, I'm making a mini movie, and I'm looking for those magic Kodak moments, and there's a ton of them. Things that I cannot show you, because the only thing that you see online is the beginning when they first check in,
right,
and the end when they break. I cannot show you the 6 or 7 hours. Well, no one's made it that far, but I can't show you all the fun things inside
Do you
because
have like a defibrillator somewhere?
Oh, we have
just in case somebody like.
We definitely have medical staff on board, but nobody's been seriously hurt. And I've been doing this for a long time because it is only 2 people. It's really controlled, and I'm there every step of the way. I'm right there with my little trusty camera, making sure.
It sounds like you do take a lot of time, and I don't want people thinking. It does sound like you take a lot of time in planning this.
Oh, big time.
Making sure it's safe, but at the same time, it sounds like you're playing a lot of extreme head games.
Yes.
And people that suffer from anxiety or some kind of have like a panic attack, they could have a physical symptom from it.
They could.
Not saying that they literally have a heart. Well, I take back like House of Shock. They jokingly say that they killed somebody, going through the haunt. They had a heart attack when they walked out, and then they brought him back. So they said it was all good.
I can tell you we have had one heart attack back in 2005.
Yeah.
That was before things got crazy, but that was because the person was overweight. We weren't even extreme then. We were just more fun. So that can happen anytime, and they're okay. They were fine, but
I'm just saying, I'm going through. You better have like EMTs standing outside.
Man, you don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. But I wouldn't make it either. I wouldn't last 30 seconds.
Have you ever done it from?
Of course not. Are you kidding me? Of course.
I think that's what's good for the goose.
Are you insane?
Let your staff torture you.
Hell no. I know how scary it is. I built the thing. I built it around my fears, my phobias. Are you nuts? I would never do it. I know what that stuff can do to you. No
It's like the
way.
devil's walking up to you and going, dude, even I think you're going too far with it.
Well, I wouldn't call it that, but I would not ever
go through your
I can tell you things. I'll tell you something off camera that you're going to go, it'll change your mind. You're going to go, okay, I'm not going to do it now. And there's a lot of these things. Every area, there's breakers. So that's why no one can really get through it because.
So you got a safe word.
Safe word? No, this is McCamey Manor. There's no safe word.
There's no safe word.
The only
It's
way
just when
to
they
get
pass
out.
That's when all right, stop.
Yes, and this is what, and they know this too. The only way to get out is if they mentally or physically break to a point where they're out of their flipping mind. You don't say, Russ, I'm done, I'm so scared, I'm panicky. But whatever, tie them up, let's go, okay? It has nothing to do with that. It's when they lose it. They go into extreme shock. They pass out on me. Things happen, and we have to say, all right, time to pull the plug. So you don't decide when you're out. I decide when you're out. And you're going to get upset about that. But you know what?
I think that's only
okay.
fair. You said I talked with you for hours. You know what's coming. You had all these doctors.
Yep.
I think that's only fair.
And if you watch the footage, what's so unique about it is you're seeing real, true fear. Yeah. This isn't make-believe like, oh, boo. No, this is real fear. And how do I get that? Well, you got to come see that.
Do it.
But I don't stop when they get to that fear mode. We keep going. We're going to push them off the cliff a little bit, or a lot of bit. But again, they're always safe. Everybody's fine. But we are going to challenge you, and you got to know that. And if you can't accept that, don't bother me, because that's not what we do. But let me tell you this, too. A lot of folks think that we're like a blackout or a gates of hell, or that they think we're sexual. We are the most opposite of that you could possibly imagine. There's no sexual innuendo. Right. There's no religion. There's no cussing. You're not allowed to cuss. Our actors cannot degrade you. They can't cuss at you.
Oh, you can, because if you're saying I can't cuss, I'm
you
already
can cuss.
out.
No, you
I'm
can cuss.
out.
No. We want you to cuss.
Because I'm going to come through there like a sailor on leave.
I want you to cuss, but you know what? You're going to find out real fast that that's not a good idea. So that's kind of
They'll just make it work hard.
That's a joke about McCamey Manor, that if you cuss, man, that's not a good thing. So you won't do it more than once. I promise you that.
But if you get an opportunity, where can people go online to check out your website?
All right, so it's a long selection process, but you got to start by contacting me. Either go to McCameyManor.com and fill out the website contact page, which by the way is like 5 years old. Sorry, I never update anything. Send me one of those. The best way though is to catch me on Facebook. Go to Russ McCamey, send me an invite, and let me know, like, hey, put me on this secret reservation list. And then maybe after I scope out your profile, if I think that you're okay and not some crazy, because we got some crazies out there, and that's why I have to do the screening. Because we got, the loons have come out, man. Let me tell you what. So that's why we do this whole really, big time screening process. And then if I think you're okay, I'll put you on the reservation list. And then it's all about waiting for an opportunity. I'll post something like, all right, guys, I got an opening for 2 on Saturday, and then you got to fight for it. And then out of that group, I'll start
do you get
picking.
enough lead that if somebody's like across
I give
the
you
country that they can...
if you're from another country, contact me and we'll make plans.
Russ, I really appreciate you taking the time. I know this wasn't planned. This was a spur of the moment thing. I totally appreciate it. I'm a huge fan. If you get a chance, go check out his stuff. If you think you got what it takes, send him an invite.
No, don't listen to him. Don't come here. You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. Listen to me.
Well, I'm still going to check your website.
No, he's not. He'll last 5 minutes.
So keep it tuned in here. We're going to do continuing coverage of TransWorld's. Hey everybody, Charles Terry here, continuing coverage TransWorld 2015. 2015, this is our 4th or 5th year covering it. And our 3rd time talking with you, I believe. But this is Ed Edmonds. You obviously know him from Making Monsters Off Travel Channel. A show that many people still cry is off the air.
They don't weep as much as I. Yeah, I love that show. I wish it was still on, but television.
Well, it's TV, but I'm hoping we can get you back somehow in some way.
Well, that would be nice. We're kind of working on it, but you never know.
Well, we'll have to keep it tuned in to his website, see what goes on. But we're here at TransWorld to see what Ed has created and probably tortured Jordu and the other sculptors in these terrifying, monsteristic creations of yours. So what have you got for us this year?
Well, we've got this giant T-Rex. Now, this moves and opens his mouth. We can do it in different ways and so forth. But this actually tortured Jordu quite a bit. Both Jordu and I and Mikey and Marshall went out to Nebraska. We did a foam computer thing. And at one point, Jordu had a huge flamethrower. It was like for burning weeds, I guess.
Yeah.
And he was hitting the clay to try and soften big areas so he could work faster, and that was a scene. That's one of the reasons the TV show should be on, because I'm looking at that and I'm going, oh, that should have been on TV.
Has a flamethrower.
Oh, yeah. And I'm thinking, you're going to melt the styrofoam, dude. Stop. But anyway, we all lived.
So that it was kind of, you're saying, a giant milled?
Yeah, it was milled. It was 3D rendered by computer, milled in styrofoam, and then they put a layer of oil-based clay over it.
Wow.
And so he's trying to warm that up.
Cool. So what's the gag with this guy?
Well, basically, this is in its simplest form. It just goes side to side, opens his mouth. He smokes through his nose, and
nobody jumps out of it like you like scaring people through TransWorld. I figured you have them mouth open, some guy comes crawling out or something.
Well, we could do all of that. We just wanted to do a base model. I think this is 6,200 or something. But we can do anything with them. We could have centipedes crawl out of them, or giant bats, or pretty much anything you can imagine.
So if a hunter wants to modify at any time, he can always call you and say, hey, Ed, can you do that?
Yeah, he'd say, hey, I wanted to do this and this and this and this. And, oh, yeah, we'll do it.
That's awesome. And then you also say you got a couple other new guys over here.
Yeah, we've got this vicious dog that it's got some very realistic movement. I think the head alone has 4 movements. We've got a giant grim rapper. I think sitting up, he's about 8 feet tall.
A grim rapper?
Grim rapper. Yeah, he sings. Yeah, we got this great.
I thought I was mishearing that. Last day at TransWorld, things.
Yeah. There was a lot of adult beverages going around last night.
Our booth is next to an adult beverage place, so it's even happening on the floor.
Let me tell you, that thing is truly a grim rapper. We got a company called Destiny Lab to do the CD, or the soundtrack. They've done several CDs, super good group. But anyway, he stands up. He does a series of them that's just talk. But then he stands up and he raps, and it's good. It's creepy rap.
That's awesome. That's just I always love coming by your booth and seeing all the new crazy stuff that you create. So if you get an opportunity, they can find you online where?
At distortionsunlimited.com.
Distortionsunlimited.com. Be sure to check out his website. Everything that they create, you've seen it even on the TV show, and all the creativity and hard work that goes into it.
Hard physical labor. Marcia and I were up till 5.
You had brown hair at the start of it.
At the start, it was brown. Well, that started pink, but we won't go into that. But anyway, we were up till 5 the night before the truck left, and then we went home, got in bed for 45 minutes, and then had to come back and get Mike off early.
It's an insane show.
We're insane.
Yes, we are.
Hey,
you are too. All of us are insane.
I want to show you a giant hand. Come, we'll go look at this giant hand.
Okay, we're gonna go look at. I'm kind of afraid now. Last time somebody said that to me, it didn't turn out too well. But we're gonna go look at whatever giant hand Ed's got in his mind here, and we'll bring the camera along so you can check it out. But,
great idea.
But check out Ed, or check out Distortions Unlimited online, and if they got any questions, call Ed, Marcia. I talk to the who's the one who answers the phone? I keep forgetting her name. Janine.
Wonderful Janine. Friendly, nice.
Very nice lady. I always enjoy talking to her.
A little crazy, but she's very nice.
Yeah, definitely give them a call. If you got any moderations or you just want to buy from them, definitely call them, check them out on the website. We're going to go look at this hand because I think I'm trying to delay as long as possible because I'm really worried. But come on, let's go see what it is.
You'll probably survive. Come on.
I'm dead. So we're here now in front of the Distortions booth, and Ed's got a giant hand that he wants
That's
to
right.
go.
Oh my gosh. Now,
it's a hand.
Is a product that can come in very handy.
A very handy hand in mine. Ed,
I think he likes you.
I think he does too, and it looks like he needs a manicure too.
Yeah.
Whoa, hey, okay, there we go.
I think he grabbed you inappropriately.
I think he did. I think it's a very friendly guy. I think we better get out of here quick.
All right, we're out of here. Thank you much.
Thanks always.
See ya.